Survival House Network.
And don't like the brags, I don't like the boast. They like hot butter on the breakfast toast. Watching flicks, talking chicks, I like to motorboat. Can Riverman make it, yo, a check? Nope. So look at all these movies I got. Commenting like, should we watch them or not? And I know they just be acting for cash, but I still got one question to ask. Like, why'd he do that, do that, do that? If that was me, I'd be like, screw that, screw that, screw that. I'm an alpha, I'd eat through that, through that, through that. So why'd he do that, do that, do that?
Hey everybody, Zach and Aaron here, ringing in November.
Yay!
That's about right. It's so funny because this is our second take, because Zach always interrupts me at a certain spot, so I'm trying to nail it. I'm trying to nail it exactly where I think he's going to jump in.
It's not fucking right if I don't interrupt you.
And I'm trying to give him the pause, and then I did it, and I paused, and it was dead air, and I sounded like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think was his plan all along. Anyway, ringing in November, like we said, and thank you guys for sticking around with us October during our blitz of sorts. A lot more Mac and Zach this year than you guys did last year. You guys did the whole Ghoulie series, which I listened to every single one of them, and I was telling Zach earlier because they most recently put out part 4. You could definitely tell you guys were doing that like marathon form. Was that all in one sitting or 2 sittings?
2.
Because that last one, dude, you were so shit-faced, and it was kind of painful sometimes.
It was fucking genius.
It was pretty. You were all. Did you end up going to bed after that, or did you end up getting on your fucking exercise bike? I was listening to you say that. Like, he's got to be kidding.
I don't remember.
That's funny. You probably woke up on the floor, man. Anyway, like I said, we're going to do November, kind of like how we did last year. We picked a theme to kind of piggyback on October, and we're going to do a request. We're going to honor the suggestion made by the one and only Capperfield, David Capper. I don't remember what you referred to it as, Capper, but basically we're going to do Nazi November. And I don't really like the way that sounds because it almost sounds like we're pro-Nazi. So should we call it Nazi Exploitation November? I know it doesn't have a ring to it as much as Nazi November, but...
Call it No Nut November.
No Nut November. What kind of flicks will we do?
That's what all the kids fucking do. No Nazis get to fucking come. No one wants to fuck a Nazi, so it makes sense.
Is that really something that kids say these days?
Yeah. People are fucking stupid. They want to go all November without busting a nut. Why?
Like, as far as getting laid or masturbating or all of it?
Both.
Because
incels.
Because it sounds like one of those things, the group of kids in that age range where they really don't fucking have sex and they're just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they have to be talking about beating it. I don't know.
It's fucking adults do this shit too.
But anyway, Nazi Exploitation November. It was an awesome suggestion. I was championing it. I'm like, this is a great idea, Zach. Why didn't you think of this? So Zach, why don't you introduce the flick that we're going to be doing? It's not one of the ones. David gave us a whole list of flicks to do. And I'm letting Zach be the curator of this. And
yeah, he gave us a list of fucking Nazi exploitation to dive into, and I haven't seen any of the fucking ones on his list. So I picked Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS, because that's the only one I've seen.
But we're totally down to pick from his list after this, right? Is that what we're going to do?
Hell yeah.
We just need a little bit of time to bone up on the material.
See, I'm thinking you're going to watch this and be like, you know what? There's too many boobies and blood in this movie. I don't think we should do this.
Like, this is a bad idea. No, I'm all for it, man. I'm going into this blind. Zach likes to be studied up on the flicks, and I like to watch a car crash if they're... I don't know. I don't know what to expect. But if it's a movie Zach's seen, I pretty much expect the worst, just in case it's like Pink Flamingos or a necrophiliac or whatever the fuck it is. Or
there's a scene where a person gets their clit to do a dance in this movie.
Oh, my good Lord.
It's amazing.
All right. Well, I hope for your sake, Capper, that this flick that he picked is in line with the movies that you picked. I have no idea if, well, thematically, I guess it's about there's Nazis, but, you know. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get it started, guys. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1, play. I should have asked you to count down in German.
Yeah.
What would that be?
I don't fucking know. I think my mom's side of the family is German too.
Eins!
Yeah.
What?
See, look, we can hear fucking, what's his retard here?
Zwei! Oh, is this Hitler?
Yeah, remember back on South Park where they were watching him and he's like, Sleeven! Don't Sleeven! He sounded like that. Little bitch.
I've been watching a lot of South Park lately, actually, in bed. It's been my bedtime show when I'm just kind of wanting to pass out.
Oh yeah, this movie's in German too. We're gonna have to read subtitles.
All right.
No, I'm joking. It's not.
It doesn't really matter to me, regardless. I mean, I keep the volume down way low.
Sleevan! Yeah, we're gonna see the fucking Ilsa here. She's a bub. She's got fucking giant ass tits.
So, can you give me a briefing on the flick? When was this made? It obviously has some kind of following if you're familiar with it. What's the background on it?
It's kind of the fucking go-to Nazi exploitation. Everybody knows this one, and that's why I knew it. So yeah, fucking Ilsa, she does experiments, the Nazi experiments. See, look how fucking exploitational this is, Aaron. Don't you want to shut it off?
No, I mean that ass is begging me not to.
Fucking wait till you see the tits. They fucking
right.
huge. They
All right.
dank AF though.
Damn.
Yeah.
And those are natural fucking milk jugs.
I just want to pour fucking Faygo all over them tits.
Whoa. Is that the fucking Wishmaster guy? Because it looks like him when he's grimacing like that when she's riding it.
Yeah, so basically, these are like the Jews, and they experiment on them, and she wants some cock every once in a while, so she fucks them, and she's like, don't finish yet, and he did, so she's not happy.
Oh man, dude, I think she's like a 10. I really can't make out her face because the file I'm watching is a little blurry, but
See, she in certain shots, she's got like a fucking what's her name, Dee Wallace thing going on. But then later on in the movie, like you'll notice, like, oh, her scally face is not. She doesn't look as good anymore. She shapeshifts, I think, throughout the movie.
well, regardless,
But yeah.
Even if I got to stick a bag on her face, dude, that body is fucking top notch, top shelf.
Look at these tits. This camera guy knows what's up. Just pour the fucking grape Faygo all over them titties.
For milkers that big though, I wouldn't mind extra large areolas. Like those are commanding for some salamis.
Now look, she's washing the cummies out. Gotta wash them cummies out of the vagina.
All right. So is that all I need to know about the setup of this movie? Is this does this take place during Nazi Germany? Like that whole
Yup.
era? Okay.
Basically, there's like fucking 4 sequels to this movie too. But yeah, she dies at the end of this movie, so they're not really linked. It's basically like they just took like 4 different fucking times and throughout history where atrocities were committed and just made her the character in charge of it. So they're like fucking anthology movies, pretty much.
Okay.
Played a different character with the same name.
That guy looks like Timothy Oliphant.
Would you fuck him?
But doesn't he look like him?
You know what I like to think? Timothy Oliphant has elephantitis. He's got like a huge dick. Yeah.
What year did this come out, man?
I don't fucking know. Fucking, it says it right on the file. 75.
1975. I'm trying to find the message where he gave a list of flicks because I'm trying to think of all the other flicks that we could possibly do as well. If we wanted to go more modern, there's always American History X, where you go neo-Nazi.
Hell yeah.
Where does neo-Nazi get its own month?
I don't know. That's a good movie, though.
Because I can think of arguably even more like skinhead movies.
And that could also be part of the fucking Edward Furlong exploitation.
Yeah, I guess that's the only question. I guess maybe we'll get some feedback on that. Because I almost feel like there's enough skinhead modern Nazi flicks to get their own month. Because there's so many.
Yeah, speaking of that, did you see how like fucking who's that guy that fucking the Politicon thing? A bunch of neo-Nazis crashed that one retard's fucking Q&A from Turning Point USA. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Who is this now?
Fucking cringe. I forget his name. The guy that looks like somebody took the Photoshop shrink tool to his face. His face just looks like somebody shrank it. Get his name.
You talking about the Cajun guy?
Turning Point USA. That's all I remember.
I don't fucking know, man.
Look at them hairy nips.
Yeah, his nipples are disturbing me, man. That's like Riverman's nipples, dude. That's a true story.
Why would you shave your chest but leave the hairy nips?
That's not the way it works, man. Some people are just freaks of nature. I'm saying Riverman's just like that. He doesn't have a hairy chest, but he's got these rings of fucking bush hair around his nipples like that, and they're long as shit, man. Whenever like we've been in the same room undressing or getting dressed again, however you want to spin it, he'll like
But they're circumcising him.
Ew.
No, they're castrating him because
Okay.
he gamed. Or were they just shaving his pubes off? That's what I want to know.
Why does she want to be came inside of with the Jewish baby if she's a Nazi? Does she want to like have the baby and fuck with it or what?
She doesn't want him to come. She's like, no, I'm not ready yet.
She wants to torture him.
But then he did before she was ready.
So basically, did I walk into a movie that should have been more or less done on exploited cinema?
Pretty much. What'd you expect? Nazi exploitation.
Yeah, I guess.
I think they did do this movie on exploited cinema.
Did they? I mean, there's lots of Nazi tinged movies that aren't exploitation. Like there's Apt Pupil. We mentioned American History X. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
It looks like a pizza cutter.
There's that new episode. Not new episode. It's one of the episodes of the fucking Creep Show where they have the Nazi werewolf thing with Jeffrey Combs. That whole season was more or less a disappointment, by the way.
I'm looking forward to finishing. I only watched the first 2 episodes so far.
Did you? I don't really think they get much better. They're all kind of like, you know, like the ideas are good enough. I don't think they're executed great. And I don't know. But I guess it broke all sorts of Shudder records and it got a green light for season 2.
That reminds me, she just castrated a guy. I'm in the process of maybe getting a new job where I might have to castrate pigs. That sucks.
Whoa. Okay. So I know you were telling Mac and I that you were trying to look for some more work and you prefer nights. Is it still a night thing?
No, it's going to be daytime.
Holy shit. Okay, so what made you land?
I'm probably going to keep my other job too.
What made you land on pig circumcision? And why does one do that? What's the purpose?
I don't know if I'm going to have to. See, I have a cousin that works there. And she was telling me like, oh yeah, we do this. And one of the things we do, we fucking castrate pigs. And I was like, oh fuck, that's scary. I don't know if I want to do that. But did whatever I called the lady. She didn't say that's something I would do. So yeah, I'm gonna fucking go Thursday and see if it's something I can stomach.
You would be like the Fuhrer to those pigs.
Exactly.
No, actually, you'd be more like the what's his face, the Angel of Death.
Mm-hmm.
The surgeon, right? Mangala or whatever. Mangala.
But yeah, I had to look up how it happens. I'm like, maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe I'll just snip and I'll be done. But no, you got to fucking carve into their stomach because their testicles are inside their body. And you got to fucking squeeze and pull them out. Ugh. Makes you go, ugh.
Now, and this is all part of the butcher process in making the meat, or you have to do this?
We're just raising them.
All right. That's how small of a town you live in where you're working those sort of jobs?
There's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tom Arnold, man. He grew up in Iowa, and that's the kind of jobs he had growing up. I was listening to his podcast one day a long time ago, and he's like, yeah, I was like, everybody worked in factory jobs, slaughtering pigs and doing all kinds of gross shit.
Factories.
Working on the kill floor. Dude, I mean, more power to you, man. Work is work. And for all I know, they got good benefits. I don't know how that works, but I've known some people that worked factory jobs, and they were just mind-numbing, and I don't know, just they killed them inside after too much, right? It always makes you think of Roseanne, they're all working at that depressing factory in the early couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they fucking make it worse. They don't let you listen to music or shit. Like, what the fuck? Why not?
Why? I get maybe they have their reasoning of you're operating heavy machinery and you have to really listen to what's going on. That's a possibility. But there's a lot of jobs, I will say, that have that weird no music rule, and it doesn't make any sense.
Fucking mind-numbingly stupid.
Back in the day, I worked some jobs where it didn't involve really interacting with people, and you weren't allowed to. They shunned, like they got onto you if you were chatty too much, even though it didn't slow down your job. You couldn't hold down a conversation while you're working, but you also couldn't listen to music either. It's like, so they really wanted you just to sit in silence and fucking be a robot. And it made no sense. I think music or listening to podcasts or whatever it is you got to do, that boosts morale and it helps, the stuff go by faster.
Exactly.
Dude, fucking, is that Elton John?
Hopefully. I watched that movie.
Oh, I did. What'd you think of that?
I was in the middle with it.
I think
Thought it was just whatever.
it's hard not to compare it to the Queen movie, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's more or less on par with the Queen movie, right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe on a particular day, I might say the Elton John one's a smidge better. Maybe on a particular day, I might say the Queen was a smidge better. But it's more or less on there. It had more of that musical vibe where they had those weird like sequences where it's almost like hallucinating or breaking out to numbers. It was weird, but I liked it. All right. A lot more gay fucking action in that movie than there was in the Queen movie, surprisingly.
Fuck yeah, I was hard the whole time. See, look, Dee Wallace right there.
Yeah, it really did look like her.
They ever remade the movie?
Yeah, I'm not even. You know what movie we forgot about? That's an obvious modern one. The Tarantino, Glorious Bastards. That's an obvious. That's a long ass movie though.
The original Inglourious Bastards was on his list,
Yeah, no way. Well, I saw that, so that would be fun to do.
as well as Jill and the Holograms.
She got a unibrow.
Is that what it is, Jill and the Holograms?
I don't know.
He had that laying there too for some reason.
She got Princess Leia hair.
Fucking because he's the Omega, I think.
So, what is your alternative if you decide you can't stomach the pig castrating job? Where else have you looked?
Oh fucking no!
Have you looked anywhere else? You got any other prospects?
Find something else, I guess.
I know a prospect. We could finally start a Patreon, and maybe you guys could. We need to start. This is the campaign. If you guys love animals, let's make enough money so Zach doesn't have to fucking cut their wee-wees.
Yeah, why they even do that? Well, like, it's a pig farm. You want to have more. So why even fucking stop them from reproducing? I don't get it.
Well, you said circumcising. So, like, what if, are you castrating? You said circumcising. So I'm thinking, wait, so they want the pigs to fuck. They just want to reduce their pleasure.
Did I say circumcising? Why would I say that?
That's sadistic as fuck. At first you did.
They don't circumcise pigs.
That's what you said at first. I know you meant castrating, but you said, I got to circumcise pigs. I'm like, okay.
What the fuck?
Like they want them to breed, but not enjoy it.
They're Jewish pigs.
That's why I think that's because it was that scene. You're like, oh, they're circumcising them. I mean, they're castrating them. And then I think you had that blurred up, and then you said you have to circumcise pigs, and that's why I'm like, oh, you're like the Fuhrer then to the pigs. All right, anyway.
She's gonna shave her so close the blood would run. I never got that. She was just shaving her gynae, and she freaks out. Like, is that what was going on? Is that why people shave now and didn't in the back then? Like, did it hurt back then?
I don't know when the revolution exactly kicked off with grooming.
It was not televised, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Finn.
I'm glad. You know, that's a trend. I'm happy has not gone away, or maybe it has. I don't think it has, but I'm not a bushman. Not a bushman.
They had to be as clean as a newborn baby for me to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
That's dark. That's fucked up.
Oh yeah, I see. You know what's so funny
up.
is I didn't even notice. Really, that's what you said until you addressed how fucked up it was, because I'm so numb to it.
That was a thing back in the day. Back whenever they'd make roughies in the 70s, if they wanted a porn actress to like she's
younger.
playing underage, they would shave.
Yeah, or make it like a little bit, like not a lot.
Look at them tits, though. You think this happened back in Nazi Germany? You think Hitler was like, "Oh yeah, we'll have women being, sergeants and stuff"? I doubt it somehow. Call me crazy.
She's giving me Marilyn Chambers vibes.
Hell yeah.
But like, what is the end game for this movie and her character? She just what does she want these girls for? What is she running these tests for? Like what? I don't know.
She's got this, she believes that women may be better at withstanding pain than men. So she's giving them fucking torture techniques.
Okay.
And she wants to find out if like, oh, maybe we should just start having women know all the secrets because they won't fucking, fucking peel under pressure or whatever you say. Hey,
you know what you should do, Zach? I mean, I'm not telling you what you should do, but have you considered this as an option instead of getting a second job? Going to school and just taking online classes. And, I think someone like you would easily qualify for Pell Grants. You could go to, you could take city college, like online courses that are they don't cost much, man. Like $500 a class. And cause I used to do that.
I don't know what I want to do though. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing though. So if you haven't taken any courses, everybody's got to take prereqs, right? Everybody's got to take the same couple of years of classes, right? Before you go on to whatever it is you want to major in. And that's why so many kids, I think, go to college right away after high school, because they have to take those fucking same classes, everybody, for the first couple of years. And I think they allow themselves that 2 years to figure out what they want to do, right? You basically have a couple of years before you decide which angle you want to go necessarily. Anyway, though, in the eyes of the government, like, you're an adult. If you swat somebody or if you break into somebody's house and you're 18, you're an adult, they're throwing the book at you. But in terms of the government handing over money to you, you're not an adult until you're 25. So in the case of school, if you're under 25 and you're trying to apply for Pell Grant, basically they cut you a check, right? And you can do whatever the fuck you want with it, whether that's pay for classes somewhere or whatever. If you're under 25, they're going to look at what your parents make. And if your parents make a certain amount of money, they're basically saying, well, your parents should be fucking footing your college bill, not us, right? Which is kind of fucked up. But if you're 25 and up, then they just look at you. And they're going to look at what you make. And I know for a fact, I mean, because I was there too, when I was in my mid-20s, I was still taking classes, and I qualified and I wasn't making a lot of money. And basically I was given, you just have to take full-time classes, right? So you need to take at least 4 classes, fucking easy ass classes, at a city college, they might cost you $300 to $500 a piece. And the government would cut me like a fucking $4,000 check. So, I'd pocket the other half of that, and that's free money. That's not a loan, by the way. So, and it doesn't hurt. It's just one of those things where, and honestly, prereqs, there's so many very easy prereqs you could take that are going to be simple for you to get your feet wet if you're not used to going to school or taking, whatever. Online classes are easy. Just take the dummy classes that you have to take. Just take a couple of those to get your feet wet, man. It's fucking easy. I'm talking the courses where there really isn't homework and the workload is the bare minimum. Anyway, that's what I did when I was in that situation too. I'm like, I'll just take a few classes. And it was cool until I figured out what I wanted to do or, get more work.
Mm-hmm.
Just a suggestion, baby.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude, you're entitled to free money too. That's for sure. So, I would describe it as like, even if you don't know what you want to do, you essentially, if you get the Pell Grant, you're getting paid to take a few online courses. It's kind of like a job for a quarter of a year, but whatever.
Donk. So I was just thinking, we're seeing a lot of Nazi imagery. Remember that fucking crack house I sent you a video of where I was walking down the street and I zoomed into their Nazi flag in the crack house?
Yeah, dude. I thought that was like right across from your house or something.
No, I was just walking, it's like they call it the heroin house, I guess. My sister has a friend that moved in there and then within 24 hours found out it was a drug house and had to move out.
Wait, she moved in there or across the street? Where?
Moved in. It's like a big fucking complex thing.
Oh, gotcha. Where they rent out the rooms?
Yeah, but then I was going over to my sister's house because that's on the way to my sister's house, like halfway. And I was going down there the other day and somebody broke that fucking window because now it's boarded up. So somebody saw the Nazi flag, was like, fuck you.
Well,
threw a rock through it.
Did your sister do an about face as soon as she moved into a house with a fucking flag like that on the outside? Because it was pretty out. I mean, it was advertised.
She didn't move into that house. She moved.
Okay.
It was, my sister's friend. That was like years ago.
Okay.
Now it's got a Nazi flag. Not anymore because it's fucking busted now. You think he came in and saw somebody threw a rock through his Nazi window and was like, these fucking SJWs, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, but everybody's an SJW if you're Nazi.
I don't know.
They're so intolerant of my intolerance.
Are we, something I wanted to do this month, are we going to do a cinema enema?
I don't fucking know. You want to?
Yeah, we didn't do one last month because, obviously the season, but I think we should. I think, obviously, your schedule's pending. We don't know what's going on with you as far as what you're going to have going on, but
yeah,
maybe one of these weeks, if you have a day where you can pull 2 in 1 week and we can just, maybe on a Thursday or Friday or something, knock one out. I want to do like I was saying, the Angel Heart. So, I mean, just watch that in your free time. And we'll chat about it for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I get that job, I'll fucking have similar hours to what I have now. Doing what I babysitting for my sister. So it'll be pretty much the same.
Oh, okay. So catch me up, man. I mean, I don't know how much people know on the podcast. Are you not working the overnight job, the actual overnight job?
That's not very long.
But you're doing that and babysitting, is what you're saying currently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you get the pig job or whatever job, fill in the blank.
I'll keep the old job at least for like a week or two, so I make sure I like
Gotcha.
like the new one.
But you would quit that eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha. I got it. So is the new job just going to have more hours? Is that what you're looking for?
Mm-hmm.
I like this. This is the every man's podcast. We're just talking about real life. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, if I get that, I might fucking remember how I was gonna get the Martin 00015.
Yeah.
I might fucking go up another $300, get the Martin OMC 15 ME, which is the same, but it's got the cutaway and it's fucking got it's acoustic electric. It's got the pickup in there.
That's cool.
Donk.
Yeah, David Capper, I know he left us a comment where he was going into guitar nerdum and talking about the different types of body types and wood types and things like that. I'll read that in a little bit.
This one's mahogany.
Yeah.
All hog.
I don't know about you, but he's really into it, and you could tell. I mean, it looks like he's got a bajillion guitars. I mean, I see him post all the time. He's always got a new instrument, and I think he's more gear-headed than I am. I know it sounds good, but I've got a guitar that's basswood. I got a guitar that's mahogany. I know what sounds good, but I don't know like all these different variants, and you know what I mean. I know
Sapele. Got a Sapele.
I know dreadnoughts and stuff like that. Certain guitars are going to sound boomier, and I know the benefits of like a cutaway. But yeah,
is it pronounced Sapele or Saple or fucking? I've heard it pronounced different ways.
I'm not sure. You know what's funny is I can't even pronounce it, dude. The Taylor that I have, fuck. I mean, if Capper was listening right now, I'm sure he could tell me. It's actually made of a wood that I wasn't familiar with prior, like a Hawaiian wood, and I can't even really spit out how to pronounce it right now. And when I bought it, I'm like, I've never even fucking, and even the salesman didn't have a whole bunch of info on it. It sounds fucking amazing, so that's really all I cared about.
It might be Sapele. Saple.
Let me see.
That's one that just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, what the fuck's that?
Let me see. Guitar wood Hawaiian
punch.
Guitar Hawaiian wood.
Oh yeah, I could bring up. I have sleep apnea, by the way, and I've had it for a long time. Back when I was heavier, and I stopped using it for a while because it started feeling like now I'm getting too much air out of this. Like I either don't need this anymore, or I need to fucking have them turn down the fucking airflow, because it's like it's getting into my esophagus and into my belly, and I'm waking up in the middle of the night with fucking bad gas. Gotta eat some fucking Tums and fucking fart it out. So yeah, I think I might not need that anymore. It's pretty donk. I didn't take it with me to the hotel whenever we went to the fucking con.
Yeah.
So I figured it was too bulky.
Yeah, you're finally posting some photos from that con, and I'm curious to see the other stuff. I posted them on our Instagram if anybody wants to see me look really short, sandwiched in between him and Riverman.
He's a fucking midget.
I'm not. You guys are just fucking tall. Todd's like what? How tall are you?
6'3".
Yeah, so's Todd. Like you and Todd are like fucking 6'3". So I'm 5'10", so I mean I'm not like super tall, but I'm definitely on the average range or upper.
That's okay. We could just refer to you as our own little Phil Fondacaro.
Yeah, okay. Hey JP, whatever that fucking guy in the what's Chris Sarandon's character's name in that fucking movie?
I forgot.
The evangelist. It's like JP or JD or something like that.
Something like that.
Oh no, it's JC because it sounds like Jesus Christ. That's why I always remember that. I'm like, hey JC, I'm like, does he literally walk around and go by the initials JC?
John Carpenter.
Yeah, or John Carpenter. I recently revisited those movies, by the way, and Yeah.
See, I think we should start fucking measuring the time before John Carpenter has BC.
You know, I'm on the Taylor website right now. I mean, I could look up the serial and stuff when I get time, but I'm on the Taylor website, and it's got a listing of all the woods they use. And the only one that I'm seeing here that's Hawaiian is Hawaiian koa. Now, does Hawaiian koa always have a finish? Like does it always? It's got a certain kind of woody looking finish. Because mine doesn't have that. Mine's light colored, but unless they stained it, I don't know. But this is the only one that's Hawaiian, so maybe that is what mine is.
Is it like a satin finish you got? It's like, it kind of looks like it's natural, but it's still painted.
No, no, not really. And this koa looks like it. This koa looks like it's just,
Look at these sweaty fucking women fucking whipping other women. It's hot. And another woman watching with a scowl.
Yeah. What?
Look at them sweaty tits.
Yeah, when are we going to tackle the babes in prison movies?
Hell yeah.
Prison Babe Month.
Fuck yes. Red Heat, not the Arnold Schwarzenegger one.
Ugh. I mean, if we ever want to do a Jim Belushi exploitation, I don't know what we do. We do Red Heat. We already did Jingle All the Way. We would do gang related with him and Pac. You ever seen that movie, him and Tupac?
No.
And then what's that K9 movie with him and the fucking dog? Which could also
K9, yeah.
Which could also be in our dog exploitation, which we got to do sometime.
Fuck yes,
dude. The worst. You ever seen what is it? Top Dog? Is that the?
Yeah, with fucking Chuck
Norris. Dude, that movie is fucking terrible.
He gets outacted by that dog in that movie.
He really does. It's just ridiculous, and it's one of those flicks that's kind of funny in short bits because it's so bad, but when you actually want to sit down and watch 90 minutes of it, it's kind of hard. Like, I can't.
I'm kind of like that with all Chuck Norris movies.
Yeah, I mean...
I remember people were like, yeah, Silent Rage, it's like fucking Halloween with Chuck Norris. He's basically killing Michael Myers in it. And I'm like, I gotta see this. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is like watching fucking paint dry.
Well, I don't know. The scenes are individually by themselves funny because he's so fucking terrible. Ernest gives him a run for his money. Like Jim Varney.
Jim Varney's the greatest actor we've ever fucking seen. We've ever witnessed. Cinema history.
I remember when he passed away, I saw this political style cartoon, where it was his headstone. And on the headstone, it said, "Don't smoke." Know what I mean, Vern? I'm like, that's harsh, man. And I think someone left like a carton of smokes on his, grave.
Oh, yeah. That fucking sweet nicotine nectar.
You know what's fucked up is I think it was that movie, that shitty movie he did with Corey Haim about the ski lodge.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the movie where he was filming that and he started coughing up blood on set. And as soon as they wrapped filming, he couldn't do it right away because they were, like I said, on the shoot. But as soon as filming wrapped, he got looked at, and that's when he found out he had like stage 4 lung cancer or whatever, or throat cancer, one of those lung cancer. And
fuck, see, the cigarette company should have been fucking put in their place just from killing Jim Varney.
Yeah,
they should have been tried for treason.
But not only was that his last movie, but it looks like the marketing team used like one of his pictures he took while getting chemo to put on the cover. Because you see that look on his face on that front of that cover? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just looks sickly and like he's got jaundice.
He looks like he was auditioning to play in like fucking Weekend at Bernie's Part 3.
Yeah, like jaundiced out and stuff like that. Jaundice ain't no joke, dude. My dad had jaundice, the last few months of his life. And not to sound insensitive, he looked like a Simpson. Mm-hmm. Is pretty bad because people tend to lose a lot of weight, and like I said, their skin's yellowing, and it's just they kind of start looking like the tall man, like they're embalmed. I don't know.
So this guy right here, he's got this fucking gift where he can fuck chicks, and he doesn't come till he fucking wants to. So he's gonna be like, I'm gonna fuck you till you beg me to stop, baby. So yeah, he's the guy that can finally satisfy her.
But he don't look Jewish to me, man. He looks Aryan as fuck.
Yeah, that we missed that scene. He was something like maybe his parents are half Jew, maybe he's half Jew. I don't remember, but yeah, they talked about that in a scene. See, I don't even fucking notice. Like, if people are like, "You don't look like this, you don't look like that," I'm like, I would have never guessed.
Yo, you can't?
Yeah, I can't. People just look the fucking same to me.
Well, you see people as equals, and that's a good thing. Nothing to be ashamed of. But with that said, I'm really good at it, especially when I'm in Asia. No, I'm in Asia even. Like, I spent enough time in Asia, and I like to think it's a good thing for me. I like to think I'm cultured. I can do a good job of telling the different countries in Asia apart. You know, it's not just like that Family Guy skit. Oh, look, it's Jackie Chan. It's Jackie Chan. Chinese and Japanese is super easy. People that screw them up, please get culture, because that's super easy. Chinese, Japanese, Korean, they're super easy to tell apart.
I accidentally call, like, I'll be talking about China and I'll call it Japan sometimes. Like, it's just one place to me.
Well, I live in Arizona, and so that's like when you assume somebody from Guatemala is Mexican. Or El Salvadorian, more like. Not even Guatemala. El Salvador borders Mexico. And, it's just like a little fucking fart in the wind of Mexico. It's a tiny little fucking blip, right, on the tail. And I swear, that one's hard because they look so similar to people from Mexico, but they'll get so worked up if you just assume they're Mexican. So,
Oh, look at them squeezed titties.
But there's a couple of countries in Asia that are tougher, right? Like China and Mongolia, right? Those are a little harder. It's not as drastic as Japanese and Chinese. And
she commented. She's got a loud cum screech.
Did I ever tell you about that time when I was in Japan and then I went to the red light district? Surely I did.
Is that where they were like burning up a dog alive or something?
No, that's China.
Oh, see, it's the fucking same place to me.
No, they don't. Not to my knowledge, they don't eat dogs in Japan. Japan's awesome, but China, Korea, yeah, they do the dog thing. No, but you wouldn't expect a country that's as developed as Japan to have a red light district, or like Tokyo. You expect that out of Thailand. You watch movies about Bangkok and in the Philippines and places like that. But they did. They had one red light district in Tokyo, and I had a morbid curiosity. I wanted to see what a developed red light district looked like in a city like that. Like, it's just kind of weird to me. And I went, and it was so weird because they're so liberal with sexuality there, that it didn't seem seedy. It was really weird. It was like a Twilight Zone episode because everybody's walking around. They all look well-to-do. They're all kind of greeting each other as if they work with each other during the week. And, there'll be a couple of middle-aged Japanese guys with a couple of 13-year-old prostitutes around their shoulder.
See, fuck yeah. We need to elect me as president. This is going to be happening in America soon.
But I'm saying, like, Japanese people are so nice. So you could have a couple of middle-aged dudes walk in with locking arms with a couple of 13-year-old prostitutes, but they're still going to like bow and wave to you and be very cordial and have no shame about what they're doing.
Exactly. That's because they're not sexually repressed. They don't they get to fucking bust their nut whenever they want.
Exact opposite, yeah, of sexual repression. But it's also weird to me that Japan being the most like developed of all those Asian countries, right? And yet they have such a low age of consent. You can have sex with 13-year-olds out there, and there are.
Yeah, how do they decide that shit? Who gets into a fucking room and says, "Hey, we're fucking we're like old men. We're gonna decide when we're allowed to fuck young little girls." They
literally probably wrote a bill that says, "If there's grass on the field, play ball."
Exactly.
That's probably.
Should you get some? Let's get some 13-year-old girls in here. Not fuck them, but let them talk, and let's hear their point of view.
So they openly, promote. You've seen their pop culture, man, their mangas and stuff like that. This like schoolgirl culture. They don't just leave it on kink sites. It's pretty mainstream, and then you'll go around Tokyo and you'll literally see the legit schoolgirls. So they sexualize it in media, in the books they read. And this is on like mainstream bookshelves and stuff like that. The perversion of young schoolgirls. And then you have in real life, you walk out in the streets, all these young schoolgirls, and it just seems like it feeds the perversion a little bit. And then you take into account that like 13-year-olds are legal there. It's crazy, man. And I've mentioned it before on some podcast or another. You know, they build up, right? Because it's such a small country, but so many people, so they build many floors going up. They don't build out. So everything is multi-level, and I don't care if you're walking into a comic book store, a coffee shop, a restaurant. There's always some door with with a set of stairs that leads up to a fucking kink shop, a sex shop, or a costume shop, because they basically owned the idea of cosplay. I think it pretty much came from Japan, whereas we incorporated into pop culture and a bunch of convention nerdism. They fucking started in the sex world, man. I remember I went to, and I think I've told this somewhere, but I went to a bookstore, and it was the equivalent of like a Barnes & Nobles, and I'm watching this little girl. She looked like maybe she was 8 or 9, and she had her little fucking Hello Kitty backpack on like she had just gotten off the train from school, and she was at the book stand, and she was reading some kind of manga, and it was hentai. And she was reading some fucking like hentai porn, squid fucking porn with sex, some squid fucking a bunch of fucking prepubescent girls or whatever. And no joke, casual, there's like a 50-odd-year-old dude right next to her, like not even 6 inches from her, reading a similar type of smut book. But it's casual because it's normal.
It's fucked up, but in a way, it's like, well, she's 9 years old. We gotta start getting her ready for this. She'll be ready in 4 years, 3 years.
The Squid Lord is coming. And they sell, like, yeah, not repressed, man. Like, I think a lot more people are openly into sex simulators. You know, like those USB sex ports, you know, and you like put your dick in a pocket pussy that plugs into your USB, and you're pleasuring some virtual woman.
Hell yeah, their sperm banks have little fucking robots that come and suck your dick. That's donk.
Do they? Okay, so that I wouldn't know, but that is exactly what I'm talking about if that's the case. And you know, I think
can't I have that for my home?
People are very open about like having sex dolls, and it's just a trip, man. But
it would suck though, because you like that's a fucking you're in like a public place and these robots come suck your dick. Does somebody disinfect that fucking robot mouth?
Well, you're making it sound like it's a fucking coffee house where people come in and patrons get their dick sucked by these robots. They have those sushi places, right? Where they have this where you eat the fucking sushi off the naked chicks.
Hell yeah.
Those are all over certain districts, man. And
can you dip it in the Johnny like a nice dipping sauce?
It's just like you see in the movies, man, where you have all these business fucking people in suits, you know, getting together for a meeting, and they're all eating, you know, snapper off the snapper.
Oh yeah, like I want to dip this in your moist fucking sauce. Let me
cleanse the palate on the vagina juice, dude. They have those clubs too, where they have the girls that are behind the aquarium in the glass, you know, and they're naked, and they're you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they have those. Every other door, there's like so many massage parlors. It's insane. I don't know. It's a trip, man, because I think 13 is a fucked up age to introduce people, but it's a weird thing too, where it's like when in Rome. I take that back. When in Rome was the wrong choice of words, because I did not partake in that. But what I'm saying is, if you're in somebody else's country, you also really can't be like, hey, fuck you guys.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I can't go into their country and call them all a bunch of perverts. But with that said, though, let's take away the age thing for a second. The lack of repression, like you said, it doesn't. I guess it's not without its upsides, because there's no crime, dude. Like, their crime rate is so fucking low. They don't allow and tolerate loiterers and beggars. And Tokyo's massive, and you could eat off the subway floors. It's so clean. Everybody respects their country. Nope, it's not New York City, man. People don't throw trash everywhere. There are bins all over the place, and nobody litters. People don't steal from you. Even their organized crime, dude. I mean, I would argue, like the Yakuza and stuff like that. They're fairly restrained and orderly. Yeah, orderly. I don't know. It's just
they don't fuck shit up like we fuck shit up.
And everybody's super friendly. Everybody's super friendly.
Betas.
Dude, it's a trip. I want to go back to Japan so bad, and next time I go back, I want to take somebody, because I want somebody else to see this for the first time. I love because it's a trip. I mean, you read about it and you watch it on TV or YouTube, and you see the videos and stuff, and you play video games and stuff, but it doesn't prepare you for when you're actually there, dude. It's like being in a dream. Like, I can't believe this place exists.
Hell yeah, fucking, this is gonna be Dawn. See, fucking the main character, he was wearing that fucking hat. He looked like Charles Bronson in Death Wish 2. Going around wearing that fucking cap the whole movie.
What are they doing right now?
Fucking experiments. They're like tasing or gining or something. Fucked up.
This movie seems to lack substance.
It's really like a fucking precursor to the fucking torture porn genre. This fucking movie did it first.
Oh, dude, my back is absolutely killing me, man.
Hell yeah.
You ever feel like when you're sleeping in your bed, you wake up and your back hurts? Like when you sleep on your back? My bed's really comfortable, so I don't know why, but maybe it's when I sleep too much. I don't know. But my middle back is fucking raging.
Hell yeah. See, yeah, they're putting that up to Johnny, and it's shocking them.
Oh, man. Well, that looks like a good time. I know women that would like that.
Yeah, it's a big black cock dildo.
Yeah. Ew, can I tell you the story? Did I tell you the story about the, I mentioned like the costume shops? Did I tell you the story about the guy that was walking in there, and you go in these costume shops and they sell costumes that fit little kids. Like they do certain things that sort of skate around the laws, right? Even if 13 is the illegal age, they're like anywhere else where they skate around the laws, and they'll sell stuff that's doesn't qualify technically as being like illegal. You know what I mean? So
could be for midgets.
Well, like it's not illegal to sell a costume, but you go into a sex costume place and they sell like little schoolgirl outfits that would fit a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, right? Technically, they're just selling you a costume. That's not illegal. It has nothing to do with the bondage outfit that's right next to it. You know what I mean? And I walked into the shop and it was on accident because right below it, I swear I was in like it was a toy shop, like one of those like fucking things, pop culture shop. And then I ended up in this costume shop, and dude, they had like a video shelf. And they had videotapes. They had VHS tapes and DVDs. And dude, it was that fucking brimline child porn where they weren't breaking laws technically, but they had like girls that were fucking 5 to 9 years old on the cover, not naked, but they were in next to nothing lingerie in provocative poses. You know what I fucking mean? Mm-hmm. It was one of those fucking disgusting things where it's like, it's technically not. And dude, I watched a guy go up to the pay counter with a fucking costume that looked like it fit a 6-year-old. And it was a sexualized costume and one of those fucking DVDs. And I'm like, ugh. And this guy was at least in his 40s.
Fuck.
And so
weird shit.
I honestly think even that stuff isn't stigmatized, right? Because he's not breaking the law, right? Because it's not even unlike what they do with their mangas. Because their mangas do the same thing. Because you look at maybe the sex age is 13, but have you ever seen like the anime shit? Some of the girls,
yeah, there's a thing called lolicon.
Okay, yeah,
it's like all under.
Yeah,
like,
lolly.
I've never looked at any of it. It's fucking weird.
So they're not breaking any laws technically because it's drawings. And yeah, they depict their lolicon shit. Trust me, dude, in Japan, you see a lot of that lolicon shit all over the place. And if you really want to get some real punani, you can't go under 13. But in the art world, dude, they fucking depict 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, these girls that look like they're, in kindergarten in the lolicon genre.
That's fucked up.
Going to suck some fucking grandpa's dick, dude. It is. So even though they skate around laws,
I get like you couldn't really fucking ban somebody from drawing anything though. I wouldn't. It'd be hard to.
That's why they skate around those laws, right? They skate around. So it's weird in America. Even though you could skate around certain laws by doing stuff like that, you're still going to be shunned. People are going to be like, dude, you're fucked up. In Japan, I don't think there's even a stigma to that because it's so normalized and part of pop culture. Dude, Instagram's a fucked up place, dude. There are Instagram pages that have been put on blast where it's Instagram pages dedicated to child models.
I remember there was a fucking like community that formed in Instagram where people were like
to blast.
People were like going to like people's like pictures of their kids, like fucking early, like just parents taking pictures of their newborn kids, and like, yeah, like I think it was like, it wasn't even on Instagram. It was in like a message board that people, they screenshot those pictures from Instagram and put them in this message board.
Dude.
And then there were some people in the comments making it sexual. It's like, ew.
No, but like they get put on blast all the time. So there's like a lot of women that'll put them on blast, and which is great. But there's these Instagram pages and things like that are dedicated to posting random pics of child models. You know, technically not illegal, but fucked up. You know what I mean? Skirting around that. Anyway, okay, that's one thing. But they would, these people that follow those pages that get put on blast and shit, you would think they're thinking that they're on the deep web or something. Like, no, this is Instagram. They're not hiding. And then like people like to put on blast all the people that follow and are commenting on all these pictures. And it's so fucked up because you could probably trace all these fucking people that are commenting this nasty shit, and they have normal Instagram pages, normal social medias, normal lives, and they're acting like what they do on this page isn't exposable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like a community they call themselves MAPS on like Twitter and stuff, and they're like into fucking
Mothers Against Pedophile. What?
I don't know why they call it that, but yeah, they're pedophiles. They're like, they call themselves MAPS. It's fucking weird, but
Misunderstood.
this reminded me of a creepy story.
It's fucked up. Go ahead.
Reminded me of a creepy story where fucking my sister and my mom went to the park. They took my niece. And like they asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, yeah, I'll take the dog, and she likes to walk around the park, and so like they'll drop me off like towards the entrance of the park, and I'll get out with the dog, and we'll walk around, and we'll make our way all the way back to where they are, and then by that time they're usually ready to go. But then like, yeah, so I walk the dog all the way back there, fucking yeah, I get there, and they're just like they're ready to go. They're like, let's go, let's get out of here, come on, and fucking they're going to the car, and I noticed some guy in a jacket, like a jogging outfit. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Well, I didn't think anything of it because I had no reason to at that point. But then we get in the car, and my mom and sister are like, that guy was fucking filming my niece. I'll leave her name out. Just yeah, that's one thing you don't know. Like, that's what they like when people take pictures of their newborn kids. Technically, like, I always hate that. Like when people take pictures of their kid on the toilet or something that they think is cute and is innocent and then post it online.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have control over who fucking takes that picture and use it in any way they want to. So yeah, I'll leave my niece's name out of this. But yeah, fucking, they were like, the guy, like, he kept doing this thing where he was doing like the selfie thing where you hold your phone out and you're filming yourself.
And you're getting somebody in the background.
And he was getting her in the background. He was just filming her the whole time. And like, yeah, like he was acting real weird. My mom brought up like why he was wearing a jogging outfit and he was wearing sandals or flip-flops or something. You're not gonna fucking jog in flip-flops. And there was just a bunch of shit that didn't add up. I was remaining skeptical the whole time. I was like, yeah, we don't know. I mean, fucking, I don't know,
dude. I mean,
but yeah, the more they're telling me, it's just like, like right as I'm coming to the car, the guy kind of like stops filming and he's like, well, no, right, like they got up to go before I was seen coming into the area with the dog.
Yeah.
And so they get ready to go to the car, and this guy kind of all of a sudden acts like he's ready to go to his car, which is parked right next to my mom's car. That's how they're leaving. And so like, yeah, like as soon as he starts walking by them, they're freaking out. And then I come along with the dog, and then he kind of backed off, they said. And they're like, yeah, they maybe seen another guy, and with the dog even made him back off. So they were like, yeah, it's a good time you came when you did. But yeah, the more they were telling me, it's like, oh, maybe he was fucking up to something no good.
Dude, it doesn't
like,
it doesn't hurt to report. I mean, if you're have suspicions.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad because I didn't know the story, because when we were leaving, they only told me a little bit of it. And I was like, yeah, the cops can't do anything unless he committed a crime, though. So I kind of talked them out of calling the cops.
Well, I mean,
later I felt bad.
They could show up on the scene, and, you know, if they feel like it's necessary, they could at least question the guy, and if they could pull him up, if he's a fucking registered sex offender, man, red flag there, right? You know, he's not supposed to be anywhere near schools and probably public parks. I don't know if they can't be around public parks. I don't know how that works, but schools for sure.
But yeah, like around the time it's time to leave, they're like, okay, let's go. Let's get in the car. And my niece is like, oh, I don't want to leave yet. And they're freaking out. They're like trying to get her to get in the car. Hurry up. She's like, can we get ice cream? Yeah, we'll go get ice cream. And they're saying it out loud. So like on the way out, the guy who had gotten in his car and pulled out before us, we see him just sitting near the the place to leave, like the exit area.
Yeah.
Like he's waiting for us to pass. And my mom was like, he's not going to try to follow us. And so like we get ahead of him. We're like, okay, we're not going to go eat ice cream yet. And my niece starts crying because they promised her. They're like, yeah, he knows we're going to get ice cream, so we're not going there yet.
That's fucked up. Yep.
It was weird.
I wouldn't let my kids have social media or anything like that because because people do that shit. Dude, people post pictures of like kids in bathing suits, and innocent enough, right? On paper. Because of course, to people that don't know any better, it's innocent enough. This is my kid. We're out at the pool or whatever. Fucking dude, that's the kind of shit that's gonna get put in those groups, and like there's somebody out there that's just passing that shit around. And I'd imagine if you were a deviant like that, yeah, I guess you could hang out at the park. But if I ever go to like a water park or a public pool, I'm like, dude, like this is where you think some fucking look out for some shady guy that's just sitting in a tanning chair, like under a umbrella and Weekend at Bernie's glasses and a hat, just kind of peeking over a newspaper, dude. I don't know. I just feel like I'm really weird if I see people using their phones at those places. That's recording anything. Like you said, a guy that, I'm just recording my buddy over there. I'm just recording me. I'm like, then can you not have your back towards the pool then? You know what I mean? Where clearly you're getting all these kids and shit. Like, how about you just have some common sense? And they're probably doing that thing too, where they're pretending they're texting, but they got their phone straight out. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
What I do when I see a hot lady at the restaurant.
Oh, you do that? Oh, that Mexican waitress who's
exactly
the wife of the owner.
She doesn't work there anymore. I went there
what happened,
the last
man?
couple of times. I never see her.
Wonder if she got deported. You should ask. That's a good way to start a conversation, though.
Well, he still owns the restaurant.
Oh yeah, maybe they got divorced, and now there's an opening for you.
That'd be donk.
There's an opening for you to hit that opening.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I was thinking about that. What are the ethics of that? Like taking pictures of your kids and just putting them online. Like imagine back in the day, because we always hated it when a friend would come over, or we'd take a girlfriend and they'd be like, "Oh, you gotta look at the baby pictures." And it'd be embarrassing and shit. Now it's just like all that shit's gonna be online before you're even old enough to be like, that's embarrassing though.
I just don't think the current generation has adapted to that, because pre-social media rise, it was just like Polaroids and personal pictures on a computer, right? So it really was just family seeing shit. People used to like email like pictures of grandkids, right? So I just don't know if we're like adapted to it enough yet. But you're right. I mean, social media, it's different. It's like you might be innocently posting on. Old people don't know how to work Facebook. They don't know how to IM a picture to their grandma or their grandkids. Like they're posting it on their fucking walls and shit. I don't know.
I finished that Edward Snowden book, and that was one thing he was talking about, like the first generation to completely have their entire lives documented online because their parents are taking pictures and putting them on. There's
obviously a plus side to that, and obviously the negative side. I was recently talking myself to somebody about, I have no childhood pictures. Because, I got
a lot of mine got ruined in a flood in our basement a long time ago.
Dude, we lost them in the moves, we lost them in floods. My dad recorded over fucking home videos with porn. We've mentioned this, right? We have no record. I've got a few pictures of me on my personal like social media and shit, and that's like it. And I took what I had and I'm like, all right, at least I can preserve it online. There's
like 3 pictures of me that's like of me like before I'm like 1 year old. One of them's like right after I was born. They put me on a table. They got a picture of me.
But and part of me was a little envious. It's like, man, the kids that have been born in the last decade, they have so many fucking pictures.
They had way more pictures of my sister than me.
They're all over social media. And there's videos because they were born in this age where everybody's got a fucking HD camera on their phones, right? We used to have like shoulder cannons. You'd have to like bust out a recorder, and we didn't really have those. But But it's also kind of weird too, because if you know somebody on a Facebook, for example, that's, I don't know, 21, college aged, dude, Facebook has been prominent for the majority of their life. So you could probably trace that 22-year-old's Facebook all the way back to when they were making posts when they were fucking 12 or 11 or 10. And it's weird where you could actually, it would feel so weird if I had a platform like that where I could see myself aging. I don't, not past a certain age.
Yeah, imagine if all those fucking cringy ass journal entries you wrote were online and like they still existed on a forum somewhere. That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah. What?
Look, she's going to light this thing on fire and then shove it up her snatch.
What? Look at those nipple clamps, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so what was that? Was that referencing something with the journal entries?
Yeah, there are people that fucking imagine.
Oh,
like all that shit.
Okay.
Especially now, like whenever people get pissed off at something you wrote on like Twitter, even if it's like a joke or something.
Yeah, the James Gunn stuff. Yeah.
Imagine if like growing up, you're writing everything you think because I don't even fucking remember. Well, I'm pretty sure I thought some stupid shit when I was a kid.
That's 100% what it is, right? So these celebrities that get blown out because 10 years ago this person made a tweet, that is the equivalent of somebody dredging up a tweet when they were fucking 12 and now they're 22 and they're like an Instagram influencer, quote unquote. And when they were 11 or 12, they said something really stupid like a 12-year-old or 11-year-old say. And they don't delete that shit. They just kind of move on. It's like ridiculous because that's where I think we benefit, right? We don't have the records, the pictures for our own personal interests, but we don't have the shit that's going to bring us down on a public level.
And not to mention, like, just reading sarcasm online is so hard because I realized how much of a dick I sounded like one time when I was going back and reading a conversation I had. Even though I was fucking shit posting, I sounded like the biggest asshole. So yeah, like, fucking sarcasm, it's hard to read in text form and shit like that. Crazy.
I mean, I knew a kid, I'm trying to think of, like, some of the kids that I knew growing up that acted out. But they weren't necessarily bad kids or anything, but they were acting out. If we had social media back then, like all that stuff would have been portrayed, via those platforms. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's silly.
Fucked up.
I like the age I'm at.
Yeah.
1 foot on each side.
Oh yeah, fucking, did you watch the fucking Joe Bob Halloween?
I started it last night, actually. I watched the first one.
Yeah, so this might piss you off, but I noticed, there's some stuff from the fucking first season that aren't there anymore.
Wait.
There's like 2 episodes missing.
Why? They removed the movies?
Because they must, yeah. See, I was thinking, like, if you get rid of the movies, then just put the fucking segments and leave the segments on there.
Which ones did they take out? Do you happen to know?
The stuff is gone.
Oh, that's one I wanted to watch.
And whatever the first movie was for season 1 is gone.
That's fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Did you look up into it? Did you research? Maybe is it because they removed the movies?
That's what it's for. Yeah.
I was wondering what was going to happen, and when that shit started, going down, like. I wanted to watch the stuff too.
Yeah, hopefully if they get the rights back, they just put it right back on there. Let's see why that wouldn't.
Let me see. Why couldn't they just fucking get rid of Chud? Did they get rid of Chud?
No, Chud's on there, I think.
Motherfuck, get rid of Chud. Wait, this
Mac told me recently, like, yeah, we should do the Chud movies. I'm like, ugh. No, we shouldn't.
Hold on, let's see.
Chud 2 we could do because it's so bad.
Oh no, hey, I'm actually on this Reddit where somebody's inquiring about the missing episodes, and somebody says Chud, House of the Devil, and the stuff are all gone. A bit of a bummer since I was looking forward to the stuff.
Okay.
Well, fucking good riddance to Chud, but
glad I already watched Chud and House of the Devil.
Ah, man, I didn't watch any of the first season. I didn't watch it.
I didn't see Chud or the stuff.
I didn't watch any of the first season. I watched the Christmas and the Dinners of the Death, and then I started Halloween, but I actually didn't watch the actual first season.
I think Chud might have been the first movie. So yeah, I said the first movie's gone.
That's
Then I
fucked
said
up,
Chud.
dude. Like, what's the point of bringing this show back if it's gonna be on such a temporary basis like that?
Oh, you gotta take it where you could get it, baby.
Well, are people somehow recording these and putting them online?
Somebody had like uploaded the first like fucking marathon, but I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Well, I wonder if they'll circulate, because now it just makes me want to watch them even more, the ones I missed. And even like Chud, I would like to skim it and just watch the segments and see what he fucking says about it, because he can't like that movie. No, I don't understand anybody that could like that movie. I don't know why somebody likes it enough to make a sequel, but
Mac does this thing where he remembers liking movies that he just remembered the fucking cover of as a kid. Like, yeah, we gotta do the Chud movies. They had a great cover.
it does.
It's like the movie ain't good though.
It has a fucking sweet cover, but a lot of, I can't think of too many horror movies that had shitty covers back then. That was kind of what they
Exactly.
That's what they did great, was the marketing. Now it's backwards, dude. Like, people, they say fuck all to the marketing. We get the worst fucking posters for these fucking theatrical horror movies ever.
Yeah, what do you think of that new fucking cover for the Pet Sematary 2 Blu-ray finally coming out?
So I can't wait to get that. I'm
excited.
gonna buy it on Amazon. I'm not gonna pay their price.
Any kind of blue fucking Edward Furlong in 1080p, my dick will stand on end.
And I don't think they announced the special features, did they? But it is a collector's edition.
Yeah.
I'm holding out, cross my fingers for a Clancy Brown commentary. There's no reason why they couldn't get an Edward Furlong commentary. That guy will fucking suck your dick for $5, right?
Exactly.
Now the cover, I was on their Facebook page, on their announcement.
I get that. Oh, it's cheesy. I don't think it looks bad though.
I don't think it looks bad. I get it. They're trying to pay homage to the book cover or the original book.
I kind of like that. It's so it looks like the new cover for the newer Blu-ray.
But I don't think it is representing the movie very well. I would have much preferred if they would have did like a John Carpenter Scream Factory cover, like The Fog, where they.
Dude. Oh, like fucking make like the Baphomet, make a fucking zowie headed titty woman on the front. That'd be donk.
Dude, that'd be fine. Like, you know how they do like a movie like The Fog and stuff, where they have like a hand drawn, they actually throw the characters in there and stuff. Yeah, throw a fucking weird Baphomet fucking zowie in there, but I would like to see them animate like Gus when he's like making you see his food with his bloody neck, and there's so many cool things like I think they could have did.
See, I kind of like once they do that so many times, I'm like, do something else now. Because like you put the collage on there, it's kind of starting to remind me of fucking the 90s horror movie posters where the cast was on the front of them. I mean, these are better.
Oh, like Scream? Like Scream, Scream 2. But they're hand drawn, which gives it a retro vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just Pet Sematary 2 has some of my favorite characters of any movie of the 90s. Like, they're all so great. Drew Buddy, fucking Gus, everybody, Clyde, everybody, and it's great. And it's just, you could pick out so many cool scenes to hand draw and sort of pay homage on a cover. It is what it is, though. I'm excited about it. Hopefully they get some good commentaries in there, because that's commentaries I would love to listen to. Like a lot. And you know what's funny is that actually segues into you talk about Edward Furlong, man. I saw Terminator Dark Fate.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Which, by the way, watching Terminator Dark Fate, it really made me want to do this. I think I'm officially going to reach out to Edward Furlong. I found his information. And he's pretty reachable. And even on his website, they're like saying Eddie reads everything. He doesn't necessarily respond to everything, but he'll read everything. He doesn't have that many Twitter followers. He's really just, it blows me away how much that guy shit his career away. But I would love to see if that guy will come on our show, and I'd love to talk to him. I get it. There was probably a bit, he was probably supposed to say hush hush about the movie. Right. But I don't really want to give spoilers for people that. Fuck, should I give a spoiler?
I don't give a shit about spoilers. I'll watch the movie regardless.
Okay, so look, I'm going to give semi-spoilers. So if you guys want to fast forward, go ahead. I'll give sort of a mini review here. the movie played out exactly like I thought it was going to play out. It is essentially Halloween 2018, right? It's a movie where by default, it was going to be the best one since the second one, but that's not exactly a high bar they set, right? And that's what I was expecting. And it is. It's the best one.
I like part 3.
Look, you know what? When I first saw it, I'm like, okay, it's the best one since the second one. I'll give it that. But I totally saw that coming. After sitting on it for a day or two, I'm like, I don't know if it's that far ahead of 3.
Oh, yeah.
Because at least 3 did its own thing. And 3 had a certain, I like to think that the third one would easily be the best one since the second one if Eddie Furlong played John Connor. Because the movie itself is fairly basic. It's way simpler than the second one. I think any movie was going to sort of pale in comparison following up part 2. It's just, it was so big and epic. But I think trying to familiarize and relate to somebody that is obviously not the John Connor that we knew from that epic second one, I think that just that hurt it. But if Eddie Furlong kept his shit together, because he was a part of that movie, right? And I don't know what point he got fired. I think he was doing like table reads. He might have been doing pre-production like stuff, but he got let go because he couldn't stay off the fucking junk. And I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? If Eddie was in 3, would my decision be easier? And I think it would. I think the movie would be charming enough to where I'd have to put it at number 3. So it is what it is. Now this movie, Dark Fate, it wants to be part 2 so bad it hurts. But that's what they were promising. Like, oh, it was a direct follow-up. Ignore 3 onward. We're closing that circle. And they were kind of doing what they do with, I think what they're trying to do with Ghostbusters 3, kind of what they're doing with Halloween 2018, where it's like, okay, well, we want to continue off the original franchise, but we want it to be able to launch a new one. We want to close a door and open another one. You know what I mean? We want to ease people into new characters and lube them, right, by giving them Sarah Connor and giving them all these people. But the movie itself is all right. It's like a fucking 5, maybe a 6 on a good day. Its shortcomings are the fucking effects are terrible. Well, they're not terrible, but like they're dated. They're like
the CGI fucking Terminator on the poster doesn't look too good.
Dude, they're just like 5-10 years behind. It doesn't look terrible, but it's like, yeah, this is not T2 looks better than this movie. And that's a testament to how ahead of his time T2 was. But T2, everything was I get it. Like T1000 and all that stuff looks very early 90s, but the CGI for the T1000, dude, in 1995 and 96, when a lot of movies were fucking starting to adopt that technology, they weren't looking
state of the art.
But they weren't looking good. They weren't looking nearly as good as T2 was in 91 with it. Right? So it was still ahead of its time in that. But T2's amazing because all the car chases, all that shit is all done practically. Like they're flipping trucks, they're doing all these crazy stunts. This is 2019. I don't know if it's because it's cheaper. I mean, this movie supposedly cost $185 million. I mean, it's not reflecting in the budget why they use so many green screens and bullshit. But maybe it's insurance. Maybe it's like safer to utilize more of that. And probably just simpler, less time consuming. But it looks like
they use a green screen. They could take the green screen to fucking Eddie's house and film in his fucking garage.
Well, I'm saying this movie looks more like Fast and Furious in its action scenes and its car chases, right? Where it's like it just doesn't look as genuine. But the action's all right. I think when you're lacking in story, you need to pick up the slack in the action or the violence, and I think that's what this movie should have did. It's R, and they were touting how proud Arnold was that they got their R rating, and they went hard with it. They didn't go hard enough at all. Like, I think the action... here's the plus side to it. The movie's pretty much action nonstop. It doesn't have too much lull in it. It's always moving.
They could have went hard with it if they had fucking Terminator rip off his skin and reveal he has one of those Sabian cocks.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking Sarah Connor rides the fuck out of it.
Dude. But so that's a plus side to it, that at least the action's pretty much from the gate, out of the gate, it's moving. I think the action would have got a little less stale. Like there was plenty of scenes that were somewhat rehashed. They were very familiar from the first two movies, but they could have been really, really cool if they just would have upped the ante on the violence, as kind of senseless as that is. Like you have the Rev 9 or whatever he is, like the T-1000 ripoff type of guy, where he's going through and he's just fucking wrecking shit and killing all these fucking cops and stuff. And it's kind of cool, but it's not that cool when he's just stabbing him in the stomach. They did that shit in T2. T2 didn't need to do much more than that with the T-1000 because he was menacing and the story was fucking carrying everything. This movie, not so much. So I was watching it like, man, it'd be really sweet if he was walking down the hallways and instead of just stabbing all these guys in the stomach, he was cutting their heads off. Like fucking go brutal. And that was, I know that sounds shallow, but it would have like made up for some of it. Mm-hmm. Dude, the fucking new characters are so unlikable. And if they didn't have Linda Hamilton and Arnold in this movie, it would have essentially just been a reboot of the first movie because it's very much like the first movie. And if you would have taken those classic characters out, it would have been that, and it wouldn't have been seen as a sequel. And you honestly don't need Sarah Connor and Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. They're kind of just in there, like I said, to lube up the old fans.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, no, dude, you could have taken Sarah Connor out and Arnold, and the plot would have been there because it's
fucking what we like. Like they act like, oh, we wanted a sequel with different. No, we like the fucking movies because of the fucking characters in them.
Okay, so I'll get into this because I'm gonna give a spoiler now. The first those spoilers. Remember I told you how I read spoilers like months ago?
Yeah, you said that if this is really what this ends up being, then it doesn't even fucking matter that they brought back Edward Furlong.
100%, dude, they were right. The spoilers were dead on. And that's what killed this movie because it tanked. And they were hyping it and they were showing it around too early. Dude, fucking spoilers for the whole movie were out fucking months ago. And this movie, worse than any other movie I could, throw stones at, dude, was guilty of showing you too much in the trailers.
So I'm assuming by what you're saying that John Connor probably dies really early in the movie or something?
So I'll spell it out for you real quick. But yeah, did you see the trailer? Dude, the trailers. This is one of those movies that ruins even the good shit in the trailers.
I haven't even watched the trailer.
Dude, they're okay. I'm gonna give full spoilers. So let me start. Yeah, dude, in the first scene, this is what it's almost offensive to fans. It's offensive. James Cameron announced at Comic-Con this past year that Edward Furlong was returning, which, you saw all the media sites picking up on that, right? And making articles on it. Okay. But it's like, well, he isn't in the trailers. But I'm like, oh God. And yes, the thing was going around online that, oh, he dies at the beginning of the movie, which sets off a new timeline. Okay. Listen to me for a second. But I'm like, all right, well, fuck, man. At least they're giving Eddie a fucking paycheck, giving him like, fucking
do they at least get fucking, does he die a hero?
So hear me out on this too. When I saw those spoilers, I didn't mean to walk in on them, so I didn't want to read too much detail. I'm like, oh fuck, I read too much. So I assumed, okay, well fuck, Eddie got in enough shape to film an intro scene where they fucking gun him down and then it sets a new course. Okay. And then somebody asked Eddie, he was doing the con circuit. I don't know if he was at the big one in Cherry Hill or where he was at, or if it was Indianapolis, but somebody asked him at a Q&A, and this was like a month after James Cameron made that reveal. And, you could tell he had signed a non-disclosure, right? He couldn't talk. And he's like, they'd kill me. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but, he kept it real vague.
He just told us, if you listen closely to my sentence, I told you what happens, but I disguised it. They would kill me if I told you what happened.
Well, he's like, I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I'm in there, and I'm real stoked. I'm real stoked about it. I was like, I can't talk about it, but yeah, I'm in there, and that was it.
See, if I was at that Q&A, I would be like, well, fuck that. We don't give a shit about fucking you and a new Terminator. When are you gonna make Detroit Rock City 2, motherfucker?
But here's the thing though, they fucking lied. So here's the first scene of the movie. It takes place in 1998, 1 year after they blew up Skynet and destroyed all the evidence and prevented Judgment Day, right? And it's an opening scene. I think it's in Guatemala, and they're at like some beach resort, you know?
Guacamole.
Yeah. And Sarah Connor is like fucking at some tiki hut little bar, and Edward Furlong is seen getting like a sandwich at a little outdoor bar.
Did they de-age them?
Yeah, Eddie Furlong's not in the fucking movie. They put a de-aged 10-year-old Eddie Furlong's face on another kid actor.
Are you fucking joking me?
He's not in it. He's not. They used his likeness. They used his likeness from T2 and put it on a kid the same age as he was in T2. That they gave him the same fruity haircut and the same fucking type of clothes. That's all they did.
That's mind-numbingly stupid.
Dude, so James Cameron I mean, I get why they were keeping it hush-hush, but the fact that he said that, yeah, he's in with Eddie Furlong reprising the role. No, dude, trolled level fucking 1 million.
That's not even a good troll. That's like, fuck you.
That's why it was so offensive. And I'm thinking, okay, I thought maybe the scene was going to be in modern day. And they got Eddie to get into shape enough, and they gave him like 5 minutes of screen time at least.
Could they have shot something and then just cut it out of the fucking movie? Too?
So, well, no, listen, I was hoping, okay, well, at least they're going to give Eddie a fucking sandwich and put him in a mainstream movie, at least for the 5 minutes. If they're going to piss me off, and then it's going to, you know, do like a time thing. Okay, now it's changed time. No, dude. I had no idea they were going to pick up 1 year after the events of T2. And they de-aged Sarah Connor, which, you know, they got an actress that fucking looked exactly like she did in T2, and they fucking plastered her fucking face on there. And I got to tell you.
Did they get Amelia Clark again?
No, Linda Hamilton. And I got to tell you this. Okay, so it's not.
So wait, how come we've been seeing old Linda Hamilton on the fucking previews and shit?
Because it's a flashback, dude. Listen. It starts off when she's like talking to a doctor, right? Or something. So you see it, it's a flashback. And this is all pre-credits. So this is literally how the movie starts. You hear a voiceover, and then she's talking about 1998. They had retreated, you know, because they went to Mexico after they're fucking wanted after what they did. And they're in Guatemala. It shows fucking a beach. It shows Sarah with a drink in her hand at like a fucking bar outside. And it shows John Connor getting like a fucking sandwich from like a counter. And he's walking to his mom. Then out of nowhere, within 2 seconds of screen time, a de-aged Arnold Schwarzenegger walks up on the beach in the middle of the day and fucking takes a shotgun to Edward Furlong and blows him up. And just
fuck me,
dude, unload shells into his back, and then you see like Sarah Connor screaming, and he turns around and walks away. His mission's complete.
That just shits on the ending of the second one too.
It does, dude. I was thinking he was going to get 5 minutes. He was going to get the big opening scene. It was going to be a modern Edward Furlong, and it was going to somehow catch up to him in modern day. I thought we're going to get some kind of like, here's what happened to the John Connor character. Not, hey, look. We're going to fucking de-age a little kid and and not to mention, dude, the fucking de-aging in this movie is shit. It looks terrible. Yeah. Okay.
So this is just the beginning. I was thinking you were implying that the whole movie takes place 2 years after the second one or whatever.
No, just the beginning. Yeah. Right. Just a flashback. That's it. To set it up. What happened. And, it looks bad. It's behind on the de-aging because, you know, say what you want about Marvel, they've upped the game with that de-aging shit. Like it looks fucking. You've seen it. Like you look at you see like Nick Fury and all this shit and Samuel Jackson. Dude, it looks almost real. Dude, they're about 5 years behind, and it looks like cartoons. It looks okay from
she's pissing on him. That's hot.
That's gross, dude. It looks okay like when you first see him on screen from a distance, but then when they do the close-ups, dude, it's like It looks like.
I wonder if it's just because we're becoming conscious of that they're doing it. Like, oh,
dude, maybe, but dude, it looks like fucking straight up Pixar faces.
Yeah, I noticed on that. What was that Hulu show where they had that episode where Arquette, what's her name, was de-aged through the whole episode. I was noticing like, oh, you could kind of tell, but it might have been because I was looking for it. I don't know though.
I wanted to see if I could find a picture if there's something online yet. But regardless, I mean that technology is moving real fast, and fucking compared to what Marvel's already been doing in all their movies, dude, it looked like fucking shit, dude. It looked like Pixar, and it really took you out of it. I'm like, dude, this is fucking bullshit. And the Arnold looked fucking laughable too. Anyway, yeah, it happens that fast, dude. Not only is it not really Eddie, it's legit a bootleg Eddie. I mean, I know we make fun of that, but it's legit bootleg Eddie, not the guy from Return of Living Dead 3. This is the real bootleg Eddie. And
It's
not
a
only
deep fake.
Oh no, that's what Red Letter Media called it. I think they called it Terminator Deepfake. Whatever, but I think that's where I heard it. I think that's where I heard it because their review of it's fucking great. It's really fun.
I haven't watched it. I like to watch the movie first.
But anyway, so not only did we get a fake Eddie and we got fucking lied to, dude, he was on screen for it was literally 5 seconds. It was in and out. Like, what the fuck? And then go to the future, and now we got our new characters. So when Eddie got killed, the story is Skynet had sent back multiple Terminators at different timelines just in case one of them failed, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, they sent one back in 97, which was the movie of T2, but they also sent one back in 98 and probably 99. You know what I'm saying? So when they got to the year 1998, 1 year later, a fucking Terminator was there, and it, you'd think Sarah Connor, as paranoid as she was in that second movie, she would have been ready for that, thinking about how many Terminators could they have sent? But anyway, fast forward to the present, we have our real movie. That changed the course of time. So Skynet ceased to exist. Like, they accomplished T2, but mankind just created a new thing called Legion. So now we have a new John Connor, which is a girl, and we have a new Terminator that comes back in time, who now is an augmented human. It's a human. It's basically mixing Terminator and Kyle Reese. She's a human that was upgraded.
Looking like the Devil May Cry guy.
Yeah, the girl. Yeah, she's kind of like a guy. But yeah, that's basically it. She goes to save this one. She's in Mexico City, and she's trying to protect her from a bad Terminator that was sent because she's going to lead the resistance. Same fucking story, right? And that's the main story, just like T1. But out of nowhere, Sarah Connor shows up and intervenes and kind of joins their group. But I'm saying she didn't need to be there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She just kind of shows up and she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And the Terminator, the good hero savior person, the good human Terminator, the Kyle Reese, she doesn't know who she is because she's from a different timeline. So so you have these two people that are interacting with each other, and she's explaining what happened. And what happened was John Connor got killed. Basically, when they destroyed Skynet, they destroyed that future from ever happening. That is true. But the Terminators had already been sent. All these other Terminators. So
yes, it's weird how fucking time works. Like, somehow fucking Kyle Reese went back, fucking got her pregnant with John Connor, even though John Connor sent him. Don't think about it,
dude. So the movie kicks off with a big car chase scene, kind of like T2. It's actually kind of cool. It's all right. And then they're actually getting the upper hand from this new Terminator. And that's when fucking Sarah Connor shows up out of nowhere. Like she's not 90 years old, acting all hard ass, and she fucking saves the day and whoops the shit out of this Terminator. And it turns out that's what she's been doing with her life ever since John got killed, is she's been getting cryptic text messages every 2 years, she explains, with coordinates. And it just says "for John." Very cryptic. She doesn't know where they come from, but she goes there and she just kills Terminators, which would be a really fucking cool twist. But since we've seen these trailers a million times, we know Arnold is sending them to her.
Oh,
that ruins the movie. It really does, because it would be cool. But you see the trailers with her opening the door, and they end up like, well, let's go to where the chick from the future is able to do quote unquote future. What
is he playing? The same T model that got inside the liquid metal, or the
no. He's playing the Terminator that killed her son at the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
So here's what happens. So they don't know where to go. And so the chick from the future, with her technology, she's able to track and trace where the texts are coming from. And they're coming from El Paso. And she's like, "Oh, what? Those coordinates are the exact same coordinates that were tattooed on my stomach from the person that sent me here." And so they go, and it leads into a house in rural fucking Texas in the middle of the woods. Arnold answers the door. And what had happened was, this is the T-800 that actually accomplished the mission in 1998 on the beach. And he just walked away. And he explains, you success. He's like, what you did in 1997, it prevented Skynet from ever existing, but they had already sent me back. So I had my orders. But once I completed my orders, I had nowhere to go to because there was no Skynet anymore. You changed it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he just integrated himself into real life. And this part is probable because in T2, they explain that he's a learning computer, right? Mm-hmm. And even just over the course of a couple few days, he humanized himself, you know, bonding with John and all that stuff. So naturally, this Terminator, going off that logic, he's lived fucking 30 years in society. And so he basically sits down, invites him into his home. He's wearing flannel and he's got a business. He has a drapery business and he goes by the name Carl. He has a van, Carl's Drapes. It's whatever. But anyway, he explains that, you know, after I integrated myself with society and he married a woman and adopted her kid. He has a family. You
should have been like, yeah, I got into society. I even became the governor of California.
But anyway, so he explains that, look, after building a life here and learning all these decades and bonding with my own family, I realized what I took from you by murdering her son. Like he became more humanized as 30 years went. So he felt bad. He felt guilt, and he was the one sending coordinates every 2 years when Skynet had sent more Terminators, right? I think is what it was. But it doesn't really make sense because the Rev 9 that he sent her to wasn't a Skynet. So I don't know how he's getting this information, but there's a lot of little plot holes, but whatever. But that's what it is. And he agrees to go on this last mission to help them, just to kind of like amend or like, you know, make up for what he did, because there's some remorse there, as much remorse as him as a machine can have. So basically that's it. Him and Linda Hamilton are just tag-alongs, kind of helping. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, the biggest crime this movie has is I fucking can't stand the new, like, Kyle Reese, the new Terminator, the good, and I can't stand the John Connor, the girl. They're fucking terrible. And they want you to, like, invest so much in them. And they always have to end in a factory, for fuck's sake, the last scene. And the last moment of the movie, they really try to give you the feels and end on an emotional note, like T2, you know, I know now you cry, but it's something I can never do. And like the thumb going in the, you know, all that stuff was amazing. It was done so well. And why was it effective? Because they really took the time to let those characters develop and the relationship between him and John Connor, like the father-son thing, develop and breathe. So we felt it. We felt bad when Eddie was crying and all that stuff. I order you not to go. I order you not to go. In this movie, dude, they try and do the same shit at the end, something emotional, but it doesn't deliver because it didn't earn it in this movie, you know? So, but yeah.
Is James Cameron just producing this? Is it one of those?
That's another fucking troll, dude, if you ask me. So that's why they made the sequel so fast after Genesis. Genesis was still in theaters when they announced he was rebooting it because the rights reverted to him. Like at the same year before that was out on Blu-ray. So it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, the rights went back to him and he was going to do it right. Okay. But he just produced it. And at first I was disappointed because like, he ain't directing it, man. This guy's he's committed to doing Avatar 5 and 6 and 7 that nobody asked for.
Nobody wants, nobody cares.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, I was so stoked when I first read that. And I'm like, okay, man, if anybody's going to put it right, it's him. He needs to direct it, write it, do it like he did. And no, he produced it. But then he said, oh, well, I'm writing the script. I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Did he really?
Okay, that's what he said. But he got Tim Miller from Deadpool fame to direct it. And you look at the fucking opening crawl of this movie. He didn't even get a screenplay credit. He got a story by credit, right? And dude, there are like 7 people that share the story by credit with him, and about 7 people that wrote the screenplay, which tells you he threw an idea out there that stuck, and maybe it's in the script somewhere.
Yeah,
you know. It's fucking stupid. And then
it only keeps his name as written by if he wrote like how much of it, like 70% of it.
A story by credit and a written by credit are different. Right. But yeah,
Maybe that's why it became story by too.
Well, I would almost understand if it said story by James Cameron and then written by another guy. Well, then that at least tells me he at least came up with the general beats and the concept and the whole outline. And they said, here, fucking actually put it into draft form. But dude, he's one of like 7 names in just the story credit. So that tells me they all got in a room and they were throwing ideas together. And he maybe has one idea in there. And maybe he approved the general idea when it all got formed. But dude, and if you only had one idea in the script, I'm pissed, because when somebody was interviewing about the infamous scene I'm talking about where Eddie Furlong gets killed in 2 seconds, he literally said, that was my idea. Like, oh, you fucker. Ugh. You motherfucker. Like, that's I bet you that was his whole thing. Like, look,
why would you admit that too?
That's his only, I bet you that's his only claim to that story credit is he's like, okay, well, let's do it right. And we got to do something different. All these shitty sequels have focused on John Connor and they've just shit on the series. Let's shake it up and let's have John Connor die in the beginning because no one will see that coming. And let's just change the timeline. That was probably his only fucking input. That's probably it. And you can tell he didn't write the script. He didn't write the dialogue, dude, because that's another thing that hurts this movie is, I mean, it doesn't kill it, but the dialogue is pretty straight hammy in some places. Like there's this one cringy fucking line where they're in a truck and, remember when I told you this new like Kyle Reese female is looking up the coordinates on how to find where those text messages are coming from? Sarah Connor asked her a legitimate question, like, how are you finding it? And she just goes, future shit. All right. I'm not saying we really have to know, like but that was cringe as fuck. There's a lot of those.
That's what you put in the script when you don't want to actually come up with what you're writing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll put that later, future shit.
Some guy will,
and then they just read it.
I'll give this to the guy who's going to polish it and he'll fill that in. No, yeah, she's future shit. Like, oh, I wanted to throw up. And I know it sounds like I'm being hard on the movie, but like, with that said, it's still a popcorn movie. It's not like terrible. It's okay. But like, it's arguably the best one since the second one. And it does feel the most, I guess, like the second one than any of them have. I don't think they went, if they're going to even flirt with that, they should have went super hard with it. Like the music and the classic theme is kind of only flirted with in a new score, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit. Mm-hmm. They'll like tease it and kind of quote it. But like, dude, fucking go all in. Like, give us the dun 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 dun. Don't give us like a remix. Don't give us the classic themes. Give us the. I think they should have went harder there. That's my only thing. Another thing too is, I don't mind Sarah Connor in this. She's whatever. Arnold, but Sarah Connor, like the way they make her character in this flick, they really neuter who she was in the second one. Like, this is what she became. Yeah, it's like maybe she would have been like a crazy cat lady. I don't fucking know. But Arnold too, another thing, while he steals the show, he doesn't show up till like the second half of the movie, by the way. Right? You know, he's truly a bit player, but he chews up the scenery. Like every scene he's in is great. But it's kind of a double-edged thing because they really try to hit it hard with comedy in this one. And they use Arnold as the comic relief. Nobody else is, quote unquote, trying to be funny in this movie. The movie's pretty T2, pretty serious. Except when Arnold's on the screen. And I feel conflicted because the stuff he says is funny. It is entertaining and the lines and the scenes are fun. But I don't want my Terminator to be fun. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first one, and even in the second one, except for like, chill out, dickwad. You know, those were kind of funny, but they weren't too outside of the realm of, you know, think about it. Mm-hmm. A little kid is his boss and a little kid's telling him to say this. That's kind of what a little kid would do, right? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like too outrageous, but they were still kind of funny and cheeky and he didn't break character. This one, it's like they used him as the vehicle of comic relief and everything he's saying is pretty hilarious, but it's like, ugh, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole scene where he's telling a story when they're traveling to their destination where he's talking, and then I went to this one guy's house and this guy was trying to put, solid colored drapes in a baby girl, his daughter's room. And I'm like, you are crazy. You have to have a choo-choo. So like, what the fuck is he saying? It was funny, but it's like, why he should be the badass of the group. Don't let him be funny. I don't understand. But, Yeah, it's a 5. Maybe I'm going to watch it again to see if it gets moved to a 6, but it's at least a 5 out of 10. It's whatever. I say watch it. And I will say this. I am tempted to see it again. It's not like a movie like It, where I gave like a 5 out of 10, where I had no desire to watch it ever again. I do want to watch this when it comes out. I want to watch this in HD. I want to watch it on my TV. And I want to try and... Because I won't go into it so pissed, because I already know.
We're gonna do it for fucking Terminator exploitation. We're gonna do them all, baby.
The first, the shitty one. Yeah, I want it. The first viewing, I was so literally, dude. That first, I know I'm going on a lot about this movie, but I'll end it here. The first 5 seconds of that movie and what they did with Eddie Furlong, and they shit on the first 2 movies we all loved. It pissed me off so much. This was all before the title card, by the way. This is before the titles came. Mm-hmm. It pissed me off so much that I had no investment in the movie that actually started. Like, I was fucking pissed. Like, I don't give a shit about any of these characters because of what they did. So anyway, I want to watch it again when it comes out, now that I cannot be pissed because I already know everything. So, and maybe I can take it at face value and enjoy bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, whatever. Fuck that. I'm sorry if I spoiled it for everybody. But by the time this... I'm sorry. We'll have to put something in the title, maybe. I don't...
Yeah.
Well, if people are listening to it, I announced it. Like, hey, spoilers, 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 spoilers. But anyway, this movie's over, and I'm sorry it became sort of a Terminator rant review. But I was saying at the top of that, though, now that the movie's out, Eddie's probably not bound to any non-disclosure. I kind of want to reach out to him. I'm like, dude, will you fucking come on will you do an interview? Because I got to know what you feel about this. He probably doesn't care because they paid him. They used his likeness, Fuck me, dude. Yeah. And then I saw, like, on Instagram, dude, the little wiener, they got to play him without the de-aging face on him. And it's like, look at this bootleg Eddie, this little 10-year-old I want to smack.
Little wiener.
Yeah, little wiener. But anyway, let's lead up. Dude, we got so many fucking comments, man. I don't know if we should read all of them. I'll start going through. Maybe we can. Because we haven't recorded in a few weeks, actually, technically. All right, so I'm going to start really quick here. Frankenstein. I don't think I read all these. Frankenstein. We got Mutineer. He left us a slew of comments. I'm going to do the honor of reading them all. Fuck, dude. These are long, too, so brace yourself. He says, I was there for Breaking Bad from the first episode. People who were not forced to wait a week after each cliffhanger and missed out, I think. They missed out because we were talking about how most people jumped on like 2 or 3 seasons in when it hit Netflix and everybody was able to like binge. He says we were at a disadvantage. He says, as interesting as the characters were, its real strength was in technical plotting. Probably the best that's ever been done. They had perfected the cliffhanger and everything flowed naturally, but still managed to surprise. Sopranos had more fully realized characters, though, in his opinion. Sons of Anarchy started out okay, but it quickly became a ridiculous soap opera. I mean, I think the fucking demographic for that is like middle-aged moms. That's my take. I watched it just to see what weird thing they would do next, just to laugh at it. Jax was a moron, a perfect example of the Dunning-Kruger effect. That couldn't do anything but screw up all the seasons. That's how I meant it to be, bro. While he burned everything around him to the ground until the season finale, where he would pull some insane plan off that would fix everything that he never showed. He had the intelligence to pull off. Any real gang would have killed him off in the overconfident stupidity in like season 2 or 3. Season 3 was the best it ever got, and then only on how over the top and cartoony it was. He put some spoilers in here. I might not read those spoilers. It's funny because we're talking an awful lot about a show Zach and I make clear we've never seen, so it doesn't sound like you're not selling me on it. I don't want to watch it. My mom was obsessed with it though, that's for sure. What do we have here? There's a lot of comments on here, like Mendoza was commenting on here too. There's a whole fucking feed on there. I'm not going to read that though, just for time's sake. He also says, from what I can tell about the Joker movie, the Joker connection with The Dark Knight Rises came from one cop who had made an offhand we're talking about how the media fucking took this gun thing crazy with the new Joker. He says, one cop made an offhand comment and that the whole media just ran with it. The guy just picked that movie because it was popular and would have the most people there, and his hair just happened to be dyed red. That's what happened at the shooting in Colorado. Is that you can't trust anything the media says anymore. It's just whatever narrative they think will sell the best. He also says Ed Wood was Tim Burton's last great movie. Sweeney Todd was an okay aberration from Burton's usual commercial diarrhea these days. I tried watching Sweeney Todd, and I had trouble getting into it. You gotta musicals, man. I'm not saying there's not some musicals with those elements in it that I don't enjoy, but it's an uphill battle if you're a musical for me sometimes. You got a lot to prove. And he also says Al Franken didn't do nothing wrong.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I responded to that. I let him know.
Yeah.
He did. He did do something wrong.
Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter.
You gonna read it? You gotta read my dank ass reply?
All right, man. I'll read it right now. Zach says, I disagree. He hover-handed them rather than squeezing them and milking them into his kneading mouth like he should have. That's what Al Franken did wrong, I guess. And he says, he responded, I got nothing. Oh, that's right. And then I responded, like, what the fuck regarding your comment? Because I died laughing when I read that too. His kneading mouth. Friday the 13th, part 4, final chapter, William Lowry. He says, this is probably my favorite commentary y'all have done, namely for all the hilarious, sleazy stories shared on here. Aaron, you sure know some interesting women, and Mac is a player. Is that the story where I was talking about the chick that wanted her mouth filled to the brim with piss? Or cave flooded? Maybe, yeah. Something like that. Sounds about right. T. Bertus Thorakis on the Frankenstein commentary says, that thumbnail is amazing. Adrian Mendoza did us a fucking solid, man. He's been like our moderator. He told us yet again that our Teespring link wasn't working, so he saved our ass because I had updated the URL to actually reflect the channel instead of a bunch of random characters, and I forgot. Fuck, that's we've put that link in all the videos, so we fixed it, and I corrected it on a lot of the newer videos. It'll take some time if I want to go back and do the rest. But thanks for that, man. I appreciate it, having our back. He also said, legit on Frankenstein, he said, Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein is great. It's been a while since I've seen it. This Frankenstein is good, but Bride of Frankenstein is far superior. Bride of Frankenstein has tons of gay subtext.
Would you fuck with the Bride of Frankenstein?
She seemed pretty hot back in the day. Mutineer piggybacked on his comments. He said, if Zach isn't won over by Dr. Pretorius, I'm going to lose all faith in him. I guess next Halloween, maybe we'll watch that one. We didn't get to it, unfortunately. Let's see here. I'm not going to read Hard to Kill podcast. Amityville 2, The Possession. Derek. Oh, this is awesome. This is one of my favorite comments. You know what's coming. Amityville 2, The Possession. Listener by the name of Derek Cantu. This is stupid. Please pull this crap off YouTube. Why, man? Because it's not like it's our YouTube and we can't put it up if we want. We got to pull it down because we didn't please you because you thought you were going to watch a fucking movie because you're a fucking idiot. I mean, yeah.
Take it off YouTube.
Pull this crap off YouTube.
The listing is wasting space in the internet.
Pull this crap off YouTube so I can, spare future victims of being duped. I mean, you're a moron, dude. I mean, unless he's talking about your thumbnail, your Pornhub thumbnail. Which I doubt. I doubt that's what it is because that's brilliant.
Then he's an even bigger moron.
Anyway, thanks for listening or not listening. Go fuck yourself. Get bent. Salute your short Zeke the Plumber commentary. Rainbow Moon Readings commented, please do Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then I, of course, commented that we've done a few episodes. We've done Zebo. We've done Ghastly Grinner. We've done the I'm Cold Ghost. I'm cold. But we need to do more. I put a link in there for Laughing in the Dark so to get them started. But
I was going to watch that little revival they were doing. And I got set up. I was going to set the DVR and then I realized my fucking cable company dropped Nickelodeon. What the fuck?
What
end of an era.
What basic cable company drops Nickelodeon?
Fucking retarded.
That's not like some kind of like boutique channel like Nickelodeon. It's kind of, you think, grandfathered into that.
Yeah, they changed it with like they replaced it with some channel called Kid Zone or something like that. Like this sounds like a bootleg Nickelodeon.
Kid Zone sounds like pedo bait.
Exactly.
Well, I'm interested to see what's up. I even if it's a good show, I don't think I'm going to attach to it because it's missing that nostalgia. Right?
It's a limited thing. It's only 3 episodes.
Oh, is it really?
It's like a mini series.
We'll see how it goes. Well, maybe we can obtain it and do it if it's only 3 episodes. That wouldn't be too bad. Mm-hmm. And aside from that, though, I would like to do more. It's been a while since we've done mini episodes, and I think it's been a while since we tapped into Are You Afraid of the Dark. I wouldn't mind throwing one of those in there like this month. Why not? Mm-hmm. Or maybe not this month because we're doing the Nazi thing, but
Is there any Nazis in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I doubt they went that far into a kid's show. What about
Maybe we could find an actor that we found out was like racist, and we could just play it off there.
was there any Christmas themed Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes? I don't think they ever went there.
I don't remember.
That's a crying shame they never went there, by the way. But
Yeah.
we'll have to do some. But thanks, man. Rainbow Moon Readings for checking us out. Hopefully you did subscribe and you're checking out the old shit. Mendoza commented on, oh, sorry, that's Mac and Zach Say the World, one of your many Ghoulies episodes. My bad. You guys got a lot of comments to read. You guys weren't reading comments because you guys were blitzed, fucking drunk.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys have a lot of those, which will be cool to catch up on. On the Wolfman, we got a few on the Wolfman commentary here. Block 069 says, rest in peace, Sid Haig. You should check out his earlier works with director Jack Hill and the beautiful Pam Grier. Yeah, man. Have you ever seen any of that old stuff?
I remember seeing Spider Baby.
Spider Baby. He's a guy that looked way different back in his youth. Like, you can hardly tell that he's black. Like the afro and the whole
I
thing.
didn't even know he was.
You look at those old movies, he's got like the afro and he's like darker, you know? Maybe he's not full.
I don't know.
He was in a lot of, wasn't he in like those blaxploitations?
And fucking Spider Baby, you look like a white dude, if I remember right.
I don't know, man. But anyway.
Maybe he was wearing blackface in some of his old movies.
Well, he was clearly growing a fro. I don't know, man. He just looked like...
All you need to do that is fucking curly hair.
Yeah, I guess. Well, regardless, we should dive into those sometime. Thanks, Blocko69. Mutineer, you also left a slew of comments. You say, the Benicio Wolfman starts off good, but it seems to get kind of silly towards the end. I don't know. I just didn't care about the characters and the climax was boring as a result. He also says, they make you pass a test to drive, but you can crap out as many kids as you are physically capable that one can't take care of or even really want, which wrecks way more lives, misspelled that, wrecks way more lives than car crashes do. Mandatory abortions unless you get a license.
Fucking forced abortion.
That's pretty...
Forced castration. I say we kill all kids.
That's hardcore, man. Mandatory abortion sounds like a Cannibal Corpse album. That's brutal. That's metal as fuck, dude.
Who was the fucking the guy in the Senate or something that said he said consensual rape? I was like, that's got to be a band name. That's donk.
I think Zach and I need to take that mandatory abortion. We should make I always thought Zach and Mac should start an E-band and like pass tracks back and forth, and we should come up with some stuff. I would do it. David Capper, you should get in on it, man. Mandatory abortion.
Oh yeah.
It'll be like that Austrian Death Machine where it's all like shtick. You know, was that the Tim Lambesis side project?
Yeah, that wife killer guy.
Who people love again. Anyway, Mutineer, you also say American Werewolf in London is the king of werewolf movies. Wolf with Jack Nicholson I like. Most people probably disagree. Howling 2 is pretty awesome just for being so trashy. Howling 1 has amazing individual scenes, but overall kind of sucks. Dog Soldiers, it's okay. Overrated in my opinion. Ginger Snaps, meh, way too on the nose. I think Ginger Snaps is fun enough.
I would fuck Catherine Isabel right in the nose.
He also says another comment, it's a silver-headed cane. What we must have been talking about something. Somebody was hitting something. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't remember.
Kane from, is that the movie he was in?
Poltergeist?
From,
Are you scared, honey?
WWE.
Well, he spelled Kane like candy cane.
Oh.
But we have talked about Kane and See No Evil too. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard we haven't recorded. It's been a few weeks since we recorded that, man, like a month. So I can't remember. But thanks, dude. Mutineer, you fucking spoil us with your comments, man. If we had if this was Facebook and we had top fan buttons, you would have one of the top fan buttons. So thank you. Blood Clart writes on Wolfman. I'm not familiar with Blood Clart, so thanks, man, for posting.
Bumbleclot.
Blood Clot. He says The Beast Must Die, 1974. Calvin Lockhart, Peter Cushing. Okay. He's just basically given the cast of this Beast Must Die 1974. Maybe it's a recommendation. Calvin Lockhart, Peter Cushing, Charles Gray, Anton Diffring, Michael Gambon. One of these 8 people will turn into a werewolf. Can you guess who it is? When we stop the film for the werewolf break, see it, solve it, but don't tell. So we were talking about werewolf flicks we could think of on the top of our head. I've never seen that one. Mm-hmm. But 1970s, man, that they're pretty capable back in the 70s, and then Peter Cushing's pretty badass, so it's probably pretty good. I'll check it out sometime. Thanks.
You think he's got more Cushing for the pushing?
Maybe. He's dead now. Thanks, Blood Clark, man. We appreciate it. Hopefully you subscribed, man. You like what you hear. Keep on coming back and commenting, dude. Leave us more recommendations too. Problem Child 1990 commentary. Giselle's Dream World, a female, which is awesome to hear. She simply states, "I love Problem Child. Thank you."
Who the fuck doesn't love Problem Child? This is America. I mean, if you don't love Problem Child, why don't you get the fuck out?
The Evans brothers don't like Problem Child. You know.
Oh, we're bringing them along, though. They're getting it.
Well, thanks, Giselle's Dream World.
They're like 2. They love Problem Child.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Which, I mean, yeah, sequelitis is just as good. Hopefully you checked out our Problem Child 2 Giselle commentary as well. The Good Son commentary by J Ram. There's a lot of newbies on here this week, which is awesome. J Ram, thanks for commenting. They say, "I watched this movie many years ago. I have 2 sons. One is 27 and one is 21. The 27-year-old one was the bad son, but after watching this movie, I decided to label him as the good son." I see what you did there. And so that's what I told myself in my head. I had to say that because the evil was too much, and we go to church. So I don't know how evil crept in because my sons grew up in Sunday school. Kids are very naughty and they must be disciplined. Nobody disciplines their kids the way we as parents are supposed to. Wow, that was a pretty serious comment.
Yeah, you think they didn't even watch our video?
Oh, dude, we had that.
Like, how'd they think to put that in the video where we're talking about fucking Macaulay Culkin getting fucked by Michael Jackson? I
love that comment. We got torn to shreds about that Michael Jackson apologist. It was one of those MG fans, dude. They ripped us apart by making those comparisons. But how do you not bring up MJ in a Macaulay Culkin in a Mac movie?
He was brought up when he saw fucking Mac for the first time, if you know what I mean.
Well, Jay Rand, dude, sorry to hear about the upbringing, man. Hopefully everything's all right with your boy now. You're right. It all comes down to parenting, and it sounds like you're of the mind of somebody that straightened that out and wasn't afraid to be disciplinary. So I agree with you, by the way. Kids are too coddled, man. They're coddled and they fucking get to run amok. You give them a device to shut them up, and that's it. Yeah. You just want them to be quiet and pipe down. And it's just, I get it, but man, I don't know. I used to get spanked on the bottom. Well, I got a lot more spankings, but I don't think spanking a bottom is that fucking bad. You know what I mean?
Especially sexually.
So here's the difference between like abuse and discipline. Like, if you can, without a doubt, like maybe spank your kid and take the anger out of it, like not be anger and you're purely doing it for the discipline and, because you quote unquote love your kid and you want him to learn, that's a spanking. But the problem is most parents are fucking irritated and fucking angry, and they're taking it out on you when they're spanking you, right? When you drive a mom or dad up the wall when you're acting a fool in a grocery store and they yank you by your arm and start swatting at your ass, yelling at you, dude, that person's pissed. That person needs to go smell the flower and blow out a candle in a separate room. Take a few deep breaths, right?
Jack off
or something. You know what I mean? Like that's when you should not fucking.
And then fucking spank your kid without even washing your hands after you jack off.
Oh God, dude. That's when you are not in a right mind to discipline your kids, in my opinion. But anyway,
that's when you're at your most clear-headed, right after you bust a nut.
Well, like I said, it's like Randy on South Park after his wife gave him the old-fashioned, and then he didn't even care about his cooking obsession. Like, what? Oh no, cooking's stupid. Good night, Sharon. If you go beat off and you still want to like discipline your kid, okay, well then you really feel it. Otherwise, you're probably just gonna roll over and take a nap and be like, it's whatever. He's a kid. Kid will be kids. But anyway, thanks, Jay Ram, for commenting. We appreciate it. It's Ghoulie. More Ghoulies. Invisible Man commentary. We're just knocking out all these fucking Universal. Mutineer, 4K doesn't even look right from what I've seen. Movies shot on film look like shot on video soap operas or something. I think it's a lack of motion blur. It's like better than our actual eyes or something, so it looks unnatural maybe? Not sure what the deal is. You got to turn the motion blur off. When you go into like a Best Buy, the display units, they've always got that shit set on, and your TVs, when you buy them out of the gate, they've got it automatically preset because as if they know it's going to hit a store shelf, right, for display. So you have to manually go in every single TV and make sure that shit's turned off.
You ever try to like talk somebody out of thinking that looks good? Like you get those friends that are like, oh yeah, man, it's got this, the refresh rate, it's so smooth looking. And it's like, dude, that looks like shit. And they're like, no, it looks better. It's new though. It has to look good.
It looks weird. And
you're trying to convince them like, no, it makes everything look like it's the behind the scenes footage from the movie, not the movie. And they're just like, I don't understand. It looks good though.
But especially with that motion blur shit, like with video games, dude, it makes me puke. Like, cause they move faster than movies usually. And it's just, it makes me dizzy. But yeah, that's the thing, man. I say if you got a 4K TV, make sure you're going in your settings. In Samsung, I think they call it motion blur. I think it's I think there's different names for it with the different brands. Like they call it something else, but just turn that off. And then I think 4K looks fucking amazing in most cases. If they do a good job. I've already talked about movies like Ghostbusters and stuff that's like, I don't know if that looks good. But yeah, give it a shot. Just check out your settings. He says also the era of the auteur is mostly over. It's filmmaking by committee that serves the foreign market. I think they sort of have to make their money the first weekend now before the pirates. Just give it all away for free. I mean, you're 100% right there, man. The people, the producers, the investors more like it. They are always thinking about the bottom line. And sure enough, yeah, they're thinking about that first week because yeah, it fucking pirating cuts into that. And they're thinking about the markets that buy up the movies, right? From the distributors and all that stuff. Maybe that's not stuff that's going to affect too many other people, but for the people that invested, they're going to look at, the Middle East, they're one of the biggest market. They buy up more movies more than any other region right now. So, you got a guy that's kind of represented as a terrorist in this movie. You better rewrite that. We don't want to offend them. A lot of that shit goes on, right? In fact, dude, we've dealt with that with our thing. I rewrote a draft recently of the film I've been trying to make for a long ass time now because we got some advice from some marketers that pinpointed something just like that. Like, the biggest, biggest territory right now that's going to, make sure these investors get their money back. They might find this offensive and you don't want to piss them off like motherfuck, so you kind of have to like tippy toe around people, which is fucked up, which begs the question, why does a movie like Rainbow 5 get made and everybody's blowing up like, this is racist, he's killing a bunch of Mexicans? It's because Mexico doesn't put up the money for the films. They don't. It's not Mexico that's buying them.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if Mexico was buying up, dude, fucking there wouldn't be none of that. Trust me.
They're probably saying, hey, you don't like seeing this? Give us fucking money. We won't put you as the villains in the movie anymore.
Yeah, which I think is, but that's why indie cinema is the way to go still. And that's why I want Hollywood to be reset. So, for someone like us and what we're doing, we're looking at now going after a much smaller amount of money so we don't have to compromise. Because if you do something for a fraction of the cost, well, then an indie studio or backers will gladly fund a movie where they're not going to sit there and fuck with your ideas or your script because they're going to make their money back. They feel safer. But when they're putting up a couple million, it's like, oh, okay, that's when that shit happens. So it ain't fucking worth it, man. Because you can make, we always talk about Blue Ruin. What'd they make that movie for? $50K?
Something, yeah.
Yeah, you could, with today's technology, you can make a movie look fucking amazing. And if you have people that know what they're doing, the difference between $250,000 and let's say 2 million is just the talent you get, right? That's it. And when you're talking about a movie that's still an independent film, and we're talking about the higher end of that, even like 2 million, okay, that extra 1 or 1.5 million, we're still not in a ballpark where you're going to be able to afford big name actors that are really going to bring some value to your movie, right? So the actors that you're going to get for that extra million, they're going to make people stop and notice your flick, but they're not really big enough to sell the movie and make them watch it. That's why you get all these movies in red boxes that have Corey Feldman on them, right? Or these shitty movies of Corey Feldman. Like that, what's that Eddie Furlong Corey Feldman movie we watched? What's that called?
Zombie King.
That Zombie King movie, that looks like a movie that could have been done for about $20,000. But I bet you it cost probably more like $1 million because they got Eddie Furlong and fucking what's his face in it, right? they had to pay out these people. And it's one of those movies we see where it's like, it almost makes you not want to watch it because you know it's going to be fucking terrible because it's got certain actors in it. You almost want to go the Blue Ruin route and roll the dice that people will see your movie.
I'm going to watch a movie with Buzz in it.
Well, I mean, he wasn't marketed. It's got Jan Brady too, right? It's got E. Plum. But I'm saying, you might risk that it might be harder for your film to get seen, but that's better than somebody seeing your movie and passing on it because it looks like cancer. But yeah, whatever. There's a whole bunch of shit to that. He also says comic book fans can safely be ignored now. Fans of the movies, but not really the comics. Vastly outnumber comic book geeks now. 100%, man. You really think these Marvel movies are doing 1.5 billion a piece, and you think all those fuckers have comic books? Of course not. You know. And it's all people that get all uptight about the source material. They need to fucking take a hike. Who cares? A movie's a movie and a comic is a comic or a book's a book. They can't be adapted the same way. They don't work in the same way in every format. They have to be altered. So yeah, I agree with you. He also says Scorsese is totally right. Post-millennial movies are 99.9% shite. Comic movies are not. Yeah, I mean,
I read that he put out a more detailed version of what he meant recently, and people are like,
he backpedaled a little bit, basically saying it's a different kind of art, it's a different kind of cinema, instead of saying it wasn't cinema, right? He kind of went back on it a little bit, but I agree, dude. I mean, like I said, we live in an era where Hollywood is greenlighting and giving lots of money and giving full theatrical releases to movies like Countdown about an app.
Wouldn't that be funny if we found out fucking Netflix called him like, hey, you should take back that shit you said. Like, we're getting ready to put your movie out. You want to piss these people off.
Well, he's not Spielberg talking shit on Netflix. He also says Bo Peep does shit. It's the end of civilization as we know it. You're commenting on how Bo Peep took the front seat of the new Toy Story movie.
She never showed her tits though. Why?
Yeah, what a disappointment, man.
I bet she got some nice tits.
I don't think Annie Potts never showed her chesticles in a movie either. Let's see here. William Lowry on Invisible Man to wrap that up, I think. Really digging this year's October Blitz. You're not wearing yourself out with a bunch of shitty Halloween sequels. Amen to that. And speaking of which, where's the Season of the Witch commentary at? The best entry in the series, and y'all haven't done it justice. For shame. So I think, I don't know, I can't speak for Zach, but it sounded like from the way Zach was talking and myself, I think that was probably our number one pick because that was on the poll. It just didn't win. Beetlejuice won. But I think Season of the Witch would have been very fitting, but we gave it up to a vote. So we'll do it eventually. Mm-hmm. Season of Witch, man, I'm going to elaborate on that. That's such a weird thing because why does it feel like only in the last 5 years that people fucking love that movie?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like everybody online is jerking off that movie. Like it's true. But when we had a VHS copy of it and growing up, fucking people hated it. My mom hated it. My mom bought it on accident. Because she had never seen it. She's like, oh, this sucks. And my dad the same way. And the people that I talked with at school, nobody fucking liked it. And now I kind of understand why Joe Bob was shitting on it. Because I found this old footage of him on Monster Vision where he's just tearing it apart. I don't know where that's coming from. Is it a bunch of trendy hipsters jumping on a bandwagon? Or is it people coming around over time? I'm trying to, because I love the movie, but I'm trying to think, how did I view it when I was a kid?
I didn't like it as a kid, and I never watched it. I was just like, oh, I'm supposed to hate it because he's not in it. So yeah, first time I actually watched it, I was like, yeah, this isn't bad.
I think when I watched it as a kid, I didn't think it was bad, but I was probably a little polarized too. And I think as I got older, my appreciation for the film is heavily due to nostalgia, probably too, because it is so different. Maybe it's a little bit of both as far as the people that are praising the movie now. But anyway, moving forward, thanks, William, man, you the man. Witch King on the Beetlejuice Halloween live stream. We put that up on YouTube. I don't know, Zach, is that going to go on the iTunes? Is that what we?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, it probably should. Beetlejuice Halloween live stream. Witch King. Fuck Beetlejuice. I want Jack Frost 2. I think we should do Jack Frost 2 also. Well, no, you're talking about the Michael Keaton one. I was talking about the Snowman. But he wants them to produce a Jack Frost 2. Yeah, okay. Butt Dad. Did you just call me Butt Dad? Adrian Mendoza says, fun live stream. Thanks, guys. William Lowry said, great live stream. I remember when y'all did last year's live stream quite vividly because after it was over and I went to bed, I was startled awake at like 4 a.m. by my phone, which was blaring because of a severe weather alert. Could not go back to sleep and spent the rest of that day in a hella groggy state. Not fun at all. Regardless, this was fun and got my paper finished just in time for today. Because I remember you were in the group chat and you were saying you were only going to be able to stick around for about an hour, but you ended up sticking around for the whole thing, man. We appreciate you, brother.
Dog.
Okay, Invisible Man, David Capper, here it comes. He says, another great session. Horror history is very important, parentheses, but it is weird to watch this right after the Halloween live stream. Should have watched them in order. He says it was cool to hang out with the BTM family all Halloween. Parentheses, this next part is not movie specific, but certain to this commentary, pertains to this commentary, sorry. I worked at the Larrivee Guitar Factory here in Vancouver and had to share. This is where he's commentating on our guitar discussion. Your Taylor versus Martin acoustic guitar discussion was very interesting, so I wanted to interject a few guitar nerd points. Brands are worth following, but I focus on factors like construction, wood choice, pause for Zach's inevitable dick joke, you didn't do it, and neck body choice. Solid spruce tops are usually perfect, but cedar tops really warm up the sound. Mahogany bodies, sides and back, make up for a louder, more strummy guitar, whereas rosewood bodies have a more condensed sound, better for leads, and loves microphones. In my opinion, walnut is complete bullshit. Dreadnought body shapes are big and full sounding, especially totally acoustic, but in OM, Martin style are more smaller, comfortable, and sound better in rosewood. One piece necks, I feel, sound better because it's one continuous piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Pause for Zach. Dick joke too. You didn't do it again.
I don't think like that when I'm listening to Capper talk. I'm all ears.
I know. We give you our utmost attention, man. When you speak, it's like we take a knee, you know. You're like that coach. You're telling us, you're talking us up about how to go out there and win that fucking state championship. You know, we're down on it. He says, but 3 or 5 piece necks are fine and never ever bend or warp. So sounds like there's some apples and oranges things going on there, right? And you definitely got a lot more experience than I do, man. Like with all the different wood types and solid spruce tops and all that stuff. That's pretty cool, man. I think I'm Koa. What's your opinion? No, I don't think I'm Koa because it doesn't look like a traditional Koa. David Capper, how about that? Can you think of any other Hawaiian woods besides Koa that I'm not finding? Anyway, thanks, dude. We appreciate that. And Beetlejuice Halloween live stream. Oliver Closeoff says, don't watch the new Terminator movie. The first 5 minutes will piss you off. Recycled trash. I actually commented, I think. I'm like, dude, you too much it's 5 seconds. Where's this 5 minutes? It's not 5 minutes, dude. It's fucking nothing. I don't know. That's to me, that added insult to the injury. That it just was so brushed by too. It was offensive. It was not unlike Alien 3, where they slapped the writer in the face and the series and the fan investment up to that point by killing off Newt and Michael Bihn's character in the first minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the fuck? It was very reminiscent of that. And like I said, almost offensive.
It makes me think of like video game logic. Like if you're fighting the end boss and he's really hard and you're having trouble and then you think you kill him, but then he just glitches back to life and kills you. That's what that makes me think of. Like, all of a sudden, fucking one of them just comes out and no one kills him. Like, fuck you. That's cheating.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Mendoza did a timestamp on the live stream and he says, LOL, I like the reaction. I can't remember what you're talking about. It's at the 1 hour, 21 minute mark. Appreciate you. Yeah, you were there the whole time, dude. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Halloween special. Exploited Cinema. So we're going to re-Exploited Cinema, right? This is the new episode.
Dog. Okay.
Halloween special. This is the brand new Exploited Cinema came out of retirement to do an episode on Mandy for the season. So that was totally unexpected. Evil Warrior states, thanks, dudes. I really hope everyone had a happy Halloween. Adrian Mendoza commented, I enjoyed this episode of Exploited Cinema. Mandy is a great film, and I watched along with you guys. Strebo, I went to see Mandy at the theater, but unfortunately did not catch Beyond the Black Rainbow at the cinema. I agreed with everything Strebo and Bat32 were commenting on about this film, though I have never seen a Rob Zombie movie. I did enjoy all the trash talk throughout the commentary about him, though. Bat32, you were absolutely right. I remember binge watching through the first season of Stranger Things, and I thought how the show is similar to Beyond the Black Rainbow. Here is a quick video that goes over the similarities. And he does a timestamp at the 50-minute, 11-second mark. I listened to the commentary. I enjoyed it. And he was talking about the notorious Corey G. He tagged when they were because they talked about Corey G.
Dude, notorious Corey G should be a meme.
It really. Can you imagine with the little crown on his head like Biggie and the gold chain, and he's in a lucha mask? Did you? Strebo actually commented. I guess he's under Indie Film Reviews. He says, "Thanks for the kind words. Glad you enjoyed the commentary. I always feel goofy spouting off too much, but we had 2 hours to fill." Strebo. Did you listen to it yet, Zach?
Hell yeah.
They. I think it was Bat 32. He was talking about. I didn't know. I don't know if this is true or if he's getting it confused with our story, but if it's true, I didn't know that's what happened to T-Shirt Joe, that he was fucking using his name to get shit.
Yeah, I remember he told me that.
The same fucking thing, right? And I think he got...
I think he was using with Behind the Mask.
He was telling some story and he got some... I was like yelling at the commentary like, oh no, I wanted to correct him because he got some information about our side a little mixed up. But still, I was like, oh no shit, really? Like, this guy is a fucking podcast bandit, you know? He goes on everybody's shows and it's like he realizes what he's doing. He's a hamburglar. He knows he's going to join a show knowing he's got a lifespan of maybe a month and he's going to just fucking milk as much as he can out of it and he's going to move on to the next. He's like a con artist. He's a traveling snake oil salesman, right? That he fucking takes everything from whatever little stop by town and he goes on to the next one.
P.T. Barnum all over again.
Exactly. Freddie got fingered. T. Bertus Thoracus, your best commentary.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember it being a lot of fun, dude. So you're probably right. I still think that's a Mac and Zach fucking Save the World movie, and we did it on this channel. It's kind of weird. Thanks, dude. Let's see. Steel Panther. Somebody commented on my old ass Steel Panther video. I uploaded a video of a concert I went to in North Hollywood, and it was West Hollywood, and it was this. And I'm pretty sure that's what the timestamp he's referring to is. A midget. They stop and say, "Hey, pick up that midget and throw her in the crowd." And it was a midget with no arms or legs.
Fuck me.
And she was at the show, and they did. The crowd picked up this midget, and they were like crowd surfing this midget with no arms or legs. It was fucking. They were tossing around like a ragdoll.
See, where's the line? Where do you draw? Like, if you're a midget with no arms or legs, are you really just a fleshlight at that point? That's terrible. I'm taking that out.
That is terrible. We've reached the end. I got 3 more comments here on the Lost Paranormal Podcast Halloween bonus episode. It went up a little late, but we released a Vault episode featuring Mac and, of course, me and Zach talking about ghost stories. It's really rad. Esvaquestrian comments. Hope you do end up doing another Paranormal Deep End episode. Would love to hear more of these types of stories. Such an interesting topic. That's awesome. I really would like to revisit that topic. I feel like we'd have to get guests on that have their own fresh stories, you know, to keep it exciting. Because on the first one, I think I pretty much stuck to my stories, and I think Josh was there too. Will and Matt's excellent podcast. I believe that's William Lowry's podcast. He says, I had a similar discussion with a friend while the two of us were sitting in the back of a van on the way back from a field trip. And we both came to the conclusion that there is life out there beyond the stars. It's just a matter of, do they know we exist or not? As for ghosts and the supernatural, I think we both said it's possible but unsure. However, I have a story to share. When I was about 11, I was at church and they were serving lunch that day. While everyone is in line, I realize I left my Sunday school binder in the main building where service is held. I go in and all the lights are off, so I'm hurrying like hell to find my binder. I grab it, make a run for the door, but as I'm exiting, I drop my binder in the hall. I turn to grab it and I notice down the hall this tall figure, shrouded in darkness, standing there. Again, I'm the only one in the building, so I have no idea who or what this figure is, but it scared me shitless, and I bolted back into the building. Lunch is being held at, binder in tow. Yeah, that's scary, dude. That's pretty. That was very vivid too. I was imagining it really well. I believe you 100%, man.
Yeah, I was thinking like, why is it always creepy ghosts? Why can't we get a hot naked ghost?
One that'll suck your dick like Dan Aykroyd.
Trying to fuck, yeah.
Ghostbusters. Let's see. Last but not least, this is a commenter by the name of Mash Sugar. I don't know if that's like a play on words, if that's like a name. Mash Sugar. I don't know. Oh, I think it's supposed to be like Meshuggah, but he's being silly. Mash Sugar. Okay. Anyway, he commented on an old interview Pat did with Luke LeMay from Gorguts. I don't know if Zach's ever listened to Gorguts, but they're technical death metal from Canada. They're amazing. Colored Sands, by the way, came out in like 2014. It's 5 years old. Is the best death metal album in 10 years easy. It's still great. Anyway, he commented on that, and I'm reading this because I really want Pat to dust it off and come back, because he's been talking to me about wanting to do it again. So he wants to get some equipment, because I think he wants to go big or go home. He wants to do video, you know, and I think he goes to a lot of shows, man. So I think if he wants to do it, he wants to do it right, wants to do it quality. So I think he's talking about trying to get that equipment that he wants to. But anyway, Luke LeMay is the guy for whom you can have nothing but respect. He is not only an incredible musician, but listening to him makes me feel like he is talking from the point of view of his audience. And there is an utmost humbleness in his voice, something you will never find in people with that caliber. It was very humble, man, because I remember we were talking to this guy, and he had to get up for a minute to go check on his soup he was making. He's just like in his little house making soup, and he's like eating soup, talking to us and talking about what he made and talking about his recipe. Yeah, pretty fun. But thanks, Miss Sugar, man. We appreciate it. And hopefully Pat is going to come back soon. And I told Pat, Zach, I'm not trying to speak for you. I said, we'll help him get started. Like, you know, if he wants like a couple of co-hosts, if he wants like to kind of get his feet wet, even if like he wants us to actually chime in, or if he just wants us as backup, like during the actual interview, we'll be quiet, you know, and just make sure everything's running smooth and the recordings, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I would do that for him. We'll help him out whenever we want, because I think that'd be a great asset. And he goes to so many gigs. It'd be cool to have like those occasional fucking video interviews go up there, because people love him and he's really good at them. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Like I said, this is the start of Nazi November. Take that how you wish. Thanks, Capper, for the suggestion. And check out all the backlog from October between the Mac and Zach Gooley episodes and all the stuff we did with the Universal Monsters. And check out that previous live stream. Another thing we want to do is we really want to start doing live streams a little bit more often. I think Zach, I know he's got some schedule stuff going on with the job talk and the pig fucking scrotum tearing and all that stuff. But I would really like to do it more regular. I really would. Even if it's bi-weekly, I think it's fun. And it doesn't really have to be any more work. If anything, it's easier, because maybe like we substitute one podcast commentary for a live one, you know, and it still counts. I don't know, but I would like to do more of that stuff. But anyway, let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are subscribed. And thanks to everybody that was a new commenter, especially, and all the old timers coming back and leaving us feedback on this episode and over the last few weeks. Make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Share us with everybody you know. And if you guys aren't already on podcast services, check out the links below and check us out on, you know, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, things like that. Leave some feedback, if anything, and to help us circulate and get more, you know, noticeability within those channels too. That'll help us out a lot. Buy some merch. We got a link down below from Teespring. We got sweet ass swag for just about all the shows on there. Goes a long way, and it kicks us back a few bucks to help keep this engine running. That's all I got, Zach. You got anything you want to add?
I give that movie 2 fat ass tits up. 2 big fucking huge milky Ilsa titties with my cum all over it. And as I pour some Fago on them.
All right. Adios, guys. Bye-bye, puppets.
End of the week at the Revival House. Next month's theme, you gotta figure it out. Italian zombies or Pauly Shore. A slasher with a knife and the girl next door. And 1 second in, get it all queued up and ready, hit play in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye puppets, Zach Pete and a solo cut band. Couldn't miss Cameron's loving, Joshua Scott Vale and Riverman's babe. Bye-bye puppets. Sounds good, like this country used to. Revival House, 2019, y'all. That sounds like fire, like this country used to.